Okay. Okay. So, do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts?
And also, is this our first ghost movie?
I think it is our first ghost movie. I do have a note here saying we should, let's talk about ghosts for a little bit.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about ghosts for a little bit. Do you believe in ghosts?
It's such a tricky question. It's always ever evolving with me.
Really?
Yeah, because, I'm trying to get more and more science based. So,
Sure.
the thing I'm on right now is the fact that energy doesn't disappear. Energy can't disappear, it has to go somewhere.
Okay.
So as the human body kind of dwindles down and we kind of running, we're getting weaker and weaker, we're generating less energy, less energy. So it's not, the theory is that we have all this energy and it just kind of goes somewhere. But the more I'm thinking about it, it kind of is like just a battery wearing out, you know.
Honestly, would have never expected this response from you.
Well, because I'm trying to all make it make sense. Have
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have I experienced things that have scared me? I'm like, whoa, this is not right. I'm freaking out. There's
Sure.
something here, not me, or that's not me. And it's
Mhm.
yeah, I've had those, and they're terrifying.
Okay.
Like because the one thing I know about ghosts, for the most part, is you can't beat them because they're already dead. Like right off the bat, you're at a
Sure.
you know.
This is so. I wasn't. Okay. Sure. You're worried about a battle.
I'm always worried about a battle.
Okay. I just. All right. Cool. Cool. Cool.
You know what? Okay, end of rant. Give me
No. No.
what you
That's.
got. Give me your hot take.
I. No. I don't believe in ghosts.
Okay.
My thing is, I've never experienced anything supernatural in my life, and you can't prove to me that any of it ever happened. I don't care how
Okay.
many pictures or firsthand experience. People have an overactive imagination, and human beings are just excitable. So, like, I don't know. Sure, it's all folklore. It's all built into like goes probably all the way back to caveman times where people thought like spirits were wandering the earth and shit like
Sure.
that. And it's just part of our DNA to like believe all this crazy stuff. I don't.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you're probably right,
Okay.
but I'm also gonna say that's kind of a
Boring.
fault. Yeah, because
I agree.
you want to get excitable, like you want to
No. I
believe, and you know
absolutely.
what? Most of those times, it is probably my mind running or playing tricks on me.
Mhm.
But I end up running away, like scared, and
Regardless.
just having a fun. Like I don't know, it's still a memory.
No,
And
I agree.
then I'm able, like for instance, at camp, we every year we like I was telling you before the episode started, every year we would tell the younger generation ghost stories
Cool.
and about this camp, and we would say there's cannibals in trees, and my uncle would take us in the back of his truck, and all of a sudden it would run out, like he would stall it out, and then others in the family would run out with in all black and scare us, and we'd
Dude,
run and
that's
get
fucking
just
crazy. You guys get into it
right.
out there.
Oh yeah, one time
Well,
we
of
had a
course, of
cot.
course, everyone knows about the famous cannibals of mid Michigan,
Yeah, right. The Milford
the
cannibals.
Milford
Right,
cannibals.
right. But so this year we have a whole another generation. There's like 12 of them, about I don't know 9 to 13,
Okay.
and there's a picture that just got published on Facebook where they're all around me in the cabana, and because my aunt told them come over and listen to the scary story that Brent had.
Oh shit.
So like cameras on me, and I get full into this story. I'm generating goosebumps, freaking
Oh,
them
this
out.
is
I got
awesome.
one of them's like, oh no, he's got goosebumps, it must be for real. And I'm just, as I'm saying this story, I'm buying it, I'm selling. Obviously I'm not really, I'm smart
No,
enough
but
to,
you're
but you
giving
have
yourself
to,
over to the experience.
yeah, you have to believe these stories. And I just
Dude, you
took
should be an actor. That's amazing.
one little walk from the first week to just go on this tangent, and I just had them all. Anytime I stopped, I'm like, I have to stop. They would, oh, there's like 10, 12 of them just
Oh
like,
my
go, go,
god.
go, go.
Dude, that rules.
One of the other ones like, no, that means we can't go because it's real demons and we could summon them. And the other one's like, that memes we have to go. And it's just like, it's just I
So
had this. Yeah,
good.
it was pretty
I
cool.
love that.
So yeah, it was
That's
fun.
awesome, dude. Yeah, no, I just like yeah, it was just one of those things where like as soon as I like got out of high school and like nothing spooky had ever happened to me, I was like, all that shit's made up. Like I've gone to fucking woods and stuff like that. Like I've gone to spooky places. This shit's all
Yeah,
made
came
up.
back with
But
mosquito bites.
but at the exact same time, yeah, no, you're right. It is kind of boring to just be like, no, that nothing, none of that's real. So I don't
Well,
know.
to that
I
point, I
think
was going to say,
I like that like there is a whole corner of like human culture that's like ghost folklore.
Oh yeah.
And like people really believe it and stuff. And there are people who I really love all that stuff. And I can follow it for fun, but like, yeah, I don't believe any of it.
So we always every group that we went out with on these, we would call them the scary walks. We always had one kid that was just like, "This is stupid. There's
Of
nothing
course.
real." Yeah, we hated that kid.
That was never me. No,
No.
I would never, fucking yuck anyone's yums about that kind of stuff. That was never me. Here's my two like
Oh,
go to.
I'm drifting in the back of the group, throwing little pebbles every once in a while in the woods.
You're good.
Just free. Oh yeah, no, I got some EXP for sure.
Yeah, you could be a bard. Here's my two ghost things. Why I just flat out just don't believe them. You literally never hear about a ghost that is from the 20th century on.
Okay.
Like there's no ghosts that are like dabbing and like listening to like Waka Flocka or anything like that. That doesn't exist. So what the fuck? What, like, is there a fucking grace period before you become a ghost? And then secondly, the idea of ghosts is that it's like your spirit, your soul, right?
All right.
Name me one animal ghost.
Oh, so you're making the case that only humans must have souls?
Right. You don't ever hear about fucking elephant ghost,
right?
Or dog ghost,
right? Yeah.
Does that just mean they don't have souls?
No, that's a good point. Actually, I like that point on that. The first one with the dabbing, while it being funny, aren't ghosts supposed to have a reason to come back? I don't think his reason for coming back.
No, sure, but
dab.
like you never know. There could be some vaping ghost. He comes out of a fucking whatever, and he's haunted. Whatever, I don't know.
But it's usually emotionally charged, like anger or sadness.
Sure,
like,
but yeah,
I don't think a vaping dabbing ghost that sounds like
that's a pretty cool. That's a cool fucking ghost. You're right. Yeah, okay, but then there's no goth ghosts. There's no like goth ghosts listening to Nine Inch Nails. That's what I'm saying. Like if you want to go that route, there's no like emo ghosts.
Sure, and
it's all
sad,
shit.
Right?
It's all shit from like what the 60s and beforehand.
Well, that's the imagination. I love it.
It's great. We're missing out on a lot of good ghost movies where there's like, TikTok ghosts. What about that? Is that anything?
Oh, I hope that's not a thing yet.
There was a movie that came out during the pandemic called Host. Did you see it?
No, I did not see Host.
It's good. It's 50 minutes long. And it's just about a Zoom call where they perform a seance over Zoom and like shit starts going bad during the Zoom call. It's fucking good.
Oh, that kind of sounds like the one I did see a horror movie like that. Unfriended.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like that, but it's specifically set during the pandemic and it's literally Zoom. So like they do the seance over Zoom because they're not supposed to, like they're all in lockdown. And then they do the seance and they like summon a fucking like spirit and the spirit's like going through all the Zoom call and shit, killing people. It's cool.
It's got to be the first time it's ever been summoned through like
Zoom.
A digital.
Into that shit. Let's do more evil technology. I like that. Oh my god. Okay, so welcome to Film School Dropouts, everyone. My name's James. This is a film podcast in which each season we cover a full director's filmography. We're covering M. Night Shyamalan right now, baby, and we are on his biggest hit and maybe one of the probably like the second most important movie we've covered on this podcast after The Dark Knight. We're talking Sixth Sense today. I'm here with
this is a big one.
Yeah, this is a big one. I'm here with a vomiting ghost girl. Brent, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Feeling refreshed and ready to get a little twisted.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is a big one.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with The Sixth Sense. Like,
do you
remember the first time you watched it?
Absolutely. We got to do our little movies first, though. But
you know what?
I know we're rusty. It's been a couple weeks.
On vacation. I need to get my
get your rust off. I know. Take your little Hawaiian shirt off. Get off of island time.
I'm gonna put my pineapple drink down.
There you go. We'll definitely get into all that.
I went camping, but apparently I'm on a beach now. So
well, whatever. Beach life, camp life.
So have you seen a little movie that you like recently?
I did. I got a good one, I think.
All right, let me hear.
I got a good one. It's a brand new movie. It just came out. I actually have to pull up the director's name because I know you like those debut movies, so.
This was a debut.
This is his first movie. Yeah, it's really. I think it's pretty freaking good. The movie is called 9 Days, and it's directed by Edson Oda. First movie. I don't really know how to describe this movie, so I'm going to try and give it a go. There's no like spoilers or anything, but it is essentially this. Did you see Soul?
That's the Pixar. Right? Yeah, I saw Soul.
Okay, so it's kind of the same thing, but this is like live action and like an artsy, contemplative movie about existence. And the whole story is like there's a man who interviews souls over the course of 9 days and gives them the chance to live a life.
Okay. Well, I'm loving the concept.
It's a very good concept. And like, I saw the trailers for this a couple times and I was like, okay, that looks like a cool concept, but it also looks sort of like artsy and stuffy and pretentious, which I was worried about. And I went and saw it. And it's so compassionate and like, it's just like got this aching heart about like the good of humanity, which like sometimes you just need like a straight up shot of that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bunch of freaking big hitters are in. It's Winston Duke in the lead role.
Oh, like him.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite like up and coming actors. Every time he shows up, I just feel vindicated.
Yeah, yeah, he's pretty darn good.
One of my favorite. He might be my number one favorite like actor to just show up where you're like, oh, he's here. Benedict Wong. Okay. I love me some Benedict Wong. He's in it. Zazie Beetz. Which one of the Skarsgårds was Pennywise? Was that Bill?
That's Bill, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it.
Now Bill is one of those that is up and coming.
Like, he's cold in this movie. He's good.
He's 2 for 2 for me because 3 for 3 because I loved him as Pennywise. I know you don't really the It movies. You're not.
I love the first one. I thought the second one was a bowl of farts.
Okay.
So that's the no, I just straight up love the first movie and I think the second one's bad. What's the other? I've only seen him in It.
The Devil All the Time with Tom Holland,
right?
And
yes,
Robert
Pattinson. I did see him then. Yeah, that movie was fine, but he was pretty good in it.
I thought they all were pretty good in it. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, but 9 days is like I cried at the end of the movie. It's just like one of those movies that's so. I don't know. It makes me happy to be a human, which is hard to make me do.
Yeah.
I cried at the end of that movie and was like, wow, that was impressive. And then I left the theater and started walking to my car. And then I like almost choked up and burst into tears like on the street because of how powerful the end of it is.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, got to get to the car really quick.
And that's tough, folks, because he's a stone wall.
No, I'm not. No. No. Well, I'm a stone wall when it comes to live action. If it's animated, I will cry at the drop of a hat.
Oh, I'll cry during commercials if the message is heavy enough. Like I just
for sure. A couple Weeby boys. What about you?
Mine. I mean, you've seen it. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to talk about this director because his movies it's just not impressive. It's from 2009.
Okay.
It's a little movie called Moon. Duncan Jones is the director, and he made this movie called Moon. It's has my favorite current working actor, currently or presently working, Sam Rockwell.
Oh, okay, right.
Wow. I thought about it when I was
the horror on your face just now.
Yeah. No, when I was thinking about bringing up this movie, I was like, oh, that means if we're going to talk about Kevin Spacey, we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to. But we do need to talk about Sam Rockwell's incredible performance in that movie.
He should have won his Oscar for this.
Like unreal. Just this is what made him my favorite. This movie.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is at the point where everyone was like, oh, we should start taking him much more seriously.
He
crushes.
I thought this also went well with today's episode because there is a pretty decent twist in it.
There's a really good. Yeah, it is like a twist, I guess. You're right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that shit rules.
But epic, insanely underrated science fiction movie.
I think most people who have seen it do love it, but it's one of those things where like not a ton of people have seen it, so it is pretty freaking underrated.
Yeah, no, I agree exactly. More people need to see this movie. Yep. So if just one person out there listens to this and just watches, then it's worth it.
It's and then you're right. We'll probably never cover Duncan Jones because like aside from this,
Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
Which, no, as bad as it was better than I thought it was going to be.
I've always been curious. I mean, I've never played World of Warcraft, but
I never did. I didn't either.
I'm always thirsty for some sword and sandal shit.
Yeah.
It was or sword and sorcery rather, but yeah.
And I miss Ben Foster, so the more Ben Foster I can get.
Okay, yeah. What is he in that movie?
He's like some like a evil mage.
Fucking sweet.
No, it's sweet. That's what I said. It was better than I expected. And then the other one I made note of from Duncan Jones was Source Code, I believe, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I forgot he did Source Code. Yeah, the movie's fine.
Yeah, but again, both those movies are okay. I don't think
I'm okay with. Yeah, that's the thing is like A, I don't think he has enough movies to really justify doing it, and B, we just covered two of the most obscure nothing movies of all time. the past 2 episodes. But the thing is, the payoff is so good with M. Night because of the roller coaster we're about to go on.
Right.
But yeah, Duncan Jones, it's like, we're going to be like, nah. Oh, Moon, this is a masterpiece. Nah. And then that'll be it,
That's
not worth
exactly right. So that's why I thought Duncan Jones was a good pick. And Moon is just incredible.
It's a wonderful movie.
Honestly, well, if we ever, I don't know, if we ever have like a bonus season where we're just like
what if we just do a wild card season? We just do a wild card season where it's just movies. It's movies full, like it's like a whole season where you pick 5 and I pick 5 of directors we're never going to cover, but they have like one movie where it's like, damn,
Yeah, even though I just watched it, I'd love to do that, and I'd love to revisit it again and give it a real rating. And I'm going with Moon this week.
Moon's great. Moon's a great call. All right, well, it's getting a little chilly in here. There must be an angry ghost.
I gotta check my thermometer. I think it's broken. I'm starting to see my breath.
Oh no! Why is everything red? Oh boy. I guess it's time for us to do our Sixth Sense episode.
It's time for the Sixth Sense.
It's getting spooky.
No, it's not about the senses 1 through 5.
It's the 6th one.
That's correct.
That's the one you got to look out for.
Baby, what are you shaking? Cole, what's wrong?
Did you ever talk to your mom about how things are?
I don't tell her things.
Why not?
Because she doesn't look at me like everybody else, and I don't want her to. I don't want her to know.
Know what?
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
I don't see anything. Are you sure they're there?
Sometimes you feel it inside, like you're falling down real fast. You ever feel the prickly things on the back of your neck?
Yes.
That's them. They get mad. It gets cold.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
Well, I mean, you wanted to talk about our first experience with this movie because, I mean, I think that this is probably one of those, you got to talk about the first time you see it because it's such this movie, I would say more than any movie we've covered is so much about the first experience that you see it.
So do we have a month that this movie came out? I know it was
I can pull up 99, the miracle year.
Yeah. My point is because this was
August 6th.
August 6th. It was a summer. This was kind of like a cultural phenomenon.
This movie, it made all the money in the world.
It
came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, had this movie.
God, I even remember I was 7 years old. And I remember the pandemonium that this movie caused.
Yeah, you gotta go see it. Oh, you gotta go. I just remember hearing that constantly.
Yeah, it was like the whole world. I mean, the trailer was so chilling, and the iconic "I see dead people" line, and it's just one of those things that even as a child that young, that stuck with me, and then I just kept hearing about everyone talking about this freaking movie. There are movies that come along that are just like this, that break through every possible barrier, and the whole world is just talking about it all at once.
It kind of makes you think. Everyone loves the power of a scary movie, because while this isn't a gore fest, this isn't a slasher,
but it's scary.
This is a scary movie,
mm-hmm.
and it's dialogue heavy, that it's atmospheric, and you get it right from the beginning because
we got to talk about that prologue. But
let's talk about the cast.
I want to know about the first time you saw the movie.
Oh, first time I saw the movie, I was just like everyone else when the Sixth Sense came out.
How old were you?
Probably, it seems like 45 at this point, but no, I was I think 12.
12. Okay. Oh, did you see it right away? Because that's a pretty good age.
I was not only did I see it right away, but I'm pretty sure we had a big group of my family that went to the drive-through. And so, not drive-through, drive-in.
Right.
I do that for some reason. I
get it. I know what you meant.
The only downside is I think it was kind of dark, and it was the first movie shown. You got to have the right lighting.
Sure.
And then it's kind of there are some dark scenes, but no, it was scary, and we all went and saw it, and it was great.
Did it blow your mind?
Actually, I think the very first time I watched it with my mom, and she called it right away.
Okay, interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So
So you were sort of looking out for it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember being really startled by it. I kind of
Okay.
just remember I think I was kind of like, oh, okay. Maybe it's a little
Underwhelming.
maybe it's yeah.
Really?
I was 12. I had a lot going on. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
You learn. I don't know. But
Sure. No, I think I probably also saw this around the age of 12, but I'm like a little bit younger than you. I saw it a couple years later. And I was definitely too young to go see this when it came out. But I remember this was a movie my dad introduced me to because he's such a big M. Night fan, being like right outside of Philly. So he's like, oh my God, you've never seen any of these M. Night Shyamalan movies? Because at the time that he showed me this movie, I think it was like a little bit after The Village. So he was essentially on like the hot streak.
Oh, okay.
I know The Village is where a lot of people started to turn on him, but like, even so, like my dad was like, there's this guy who like all of his movies are set in Philly and he makes these incredible thrillers that are just like super exciting. You've never seen The Sixth Sense? I was like, no. I did know there was a twist, but I didn't know what it was. And I wasn't really, I remember not really looking out for it. And my dad was like, he always sort of like gives you the narrative before you watch a movie, especially if he's like into it, where he's like, okay, yeah, it was this big hit, blah, 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 blah. And like, we're going to watch it. So we watched it, and like the end, like pretty much blew me away. I was just like, oh my God, what? And then we watched it the next day because I was like, well, I need to watch it again, like knowing that.
See
and like,
all the
he's like, yeah, you got to watch it because he doesn't mess up at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, that was my big fun experience watching that 2 days in a row.
You know what? I think I probably heard about the twist too.
I mean, yeah,
that might
unavoidable.
Have played into my reaction a little bit, but yeah, everyone heard about it. You got to watch it for the like that's what people sold you on.
It was the twist, and it was so scary.
Yeah, I mean, there's even the jump scares I thought still held up.
They crushed. Yeah, they're good.
All right, so let's talk. This is our first movie with Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he's great here.
Okay, yeah. I mean, fuck. We gotta talk about Bruce Willis. We're gonna be doing 2 Bruce Willis movies back to back. So let's break that Bruce seal.
And I want to talk about Haley Joel. We can do Haley Joel because we'll just knock him out real quick. Is he the best? So far, he's the best child actor we've seen on the podcast.
Up to
hands
this,
down.
yes. Oh, absolutely.
And I wrote a note.
You're talking about just the movies that we've covered.
Yes, and I'm wondering going forward if he might stay at number 1.
Well, here's the thing. He probably will, but there are a bunch of really great like child performances. I think Abigail Breslin in Signs is like, she's going toe to toe with him here. She's got way less to do. She's not the co-lead of that movie, but she crushes it in Signs. But aside from that, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of competition because he's the co-lead. He has so much to do, and it's so much to ask a child to do.
It's a ton.
It's so this
go toe to toe with Bruce Willis, like
in his prime, like Bruce Willis when he actually cared about acting.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like I could out act Bruce Willis now. Like that's not that's not a problem. But like,
wow,
yeah, I'll throw that on the gauntlet. I could probably do it. No, but like watching this movie, especially since I've seen it so many times now, and like it's hard for me to watch this movie without just staring at it and being like, oh my God, all these things are happening. Like I can't just watch it and enjoy it now because like of how much happens in the movie and like all the twists and turns you have to. Yeah. But watching this movie this time, I was just like, for as much as we all praise Haley Joel Osment for this performance, I still think he's underrated.
No, he's very underrated.
This performance is unbelievable because up until the point, I mean, like you have to watch it. I guess that's the thing. You have to watch this movie as if it's the first time you've ever seen it. If you want to like just thoroughly examine it, you can't watch it being like, I know everything that's going to happen, so that's how I'm judging it.
Right. No, I tried to reset and go in blind. I wanted to see the techniques he used to get away with this.
A lot of what I was doing. Yes. I was like, okay, a first time viewer, what are they thinking right now? But up until the reveal of him saying, I see dead people, it's so fascinating to see him in all of these scenes where you don't know that he sees dead people, like as the first time audience viewer. And you're like, what is going on with this kid? He's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and Bruce Willis is trying to psychoanalyze him, talking about how his dad has like left him. And you're like, I don't think that's it. Like, and he's he's the scene where he breaks down to Bruce Willis. And he's like, you believe my secret, right? Like,
oh yeah,
he's carrying so much emotion, and he sells
slides
over
the penny.
Oh,
and that, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's
some magic's real.
Some magic's real, you know.
Oh yeah, but the kid is just he's incredible. I mean, I don't want to make blanket statements and be like, this is the greatest child performance of all time, because like movies have been around for over 100 years, so
sure.
There's probably something we've missed or something that I've just forgotten.
Sure.
And honestly,
well, I mean, we're throwing we're throwing mud in Shirley Temple's face. Like, just,
I mean, yeah, whatever. Yeah, she just dances on stairs or whatever. Like, she's cute, I guess. Like, she's not doing this.
Okay. No, I guess she's not, like, as far as range of acting.
No.
Sure.
No, but like, you can make the argument that Haley Joel Osment is just as good, if not better, in AI. Like, I would buy that, like, fucking love that movie. And I think he's devastatingly sad in that movie too.
No, I don't like that one.
Oh boy.
No.
You would not like AI.
No, you know what? I didn't mean it like that. I meant I didn't like Haley Joel's performance compared to this.
I love him in both movies. I just like, he's doing totally different things, and he's incredible.
I like him in Tusk.
Sure. Yeah, he's a podcaster.
Apparently
he's doing what we do.
We're going to revisit Tusk a lot this season.
Oh God, I hope so. Yeah, Haley Joel's incredible, but
now we got that. Now let's talk about Toni Collette.
Toni Collette, absolutely love Toni Collette.
Why doesn't she have an Oscar?
Should have won one for this.
Like,
all right,
seriously,
I'm gonna do my thing where I pull up the 1990 or the 2000 Oscars, because that's probably a really tough year.
No, I'm just everything I've seen her in. Like, why doesn't she have an Oscar?
I don't know.
She's too good. Like,
I honestly don't know. It was rude of the Academy to not nominate her for Hereditary.
Like, how insulting.
It was very rude. I'm just pulling up 2000s Oscars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Haley Joel gets a supporting actor nomination for this.
Yeah, as he should.
Oh no, Toni Collette did get nominated. Yeah, she got nominated for this. So she lost to Angelina Jolie for Girl Interrupted.
Whatever.
That ain't it.
I mean, I've seen it a bunch. It's all right. She's great, but Toni Collette made me cry in this movie.
Every time I watch this movie, I cry at the end of it, because
you know what scene?
Her seat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's the hand on the chest. Yeah. That's what it is. As soon as the hand goes on the chest, I'm just like, every day.
No, it's every single time.
No, I love Toni Collette. I think this is probably her crowning achievement. And then she goes on to have like a whole other, like, after this, she just goes on to have a great career again,
How about that? Horror movies getting Oscar noms.
Not a super common thing.
No.
Happens more often than you would think, but like, it doesn't happen enough. Like, Get Out was a big one. That winning screenplay and Daniel Kaluuya getting nominated. And
sure.
That was a big one, but it doesn't happen enough.
No,
Hereditary, like,
they don't like Ari Aster.
No, they don't. But however you feel about Hereditary, like, I happen to like that movie a lot. I think that if you don't like that movie, that's fine. I don't think you can deny how good Toni Collette is in that movie.
She's incredible.
She's incredible. Yeah. It's just one of those performances you're like, how did you guys miss out on this one?
It's such a polarizing movie, Hereditary.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to so many people, and you know what the thing? Every single one of them, they all loved it until the very end. And it's like,
okay,
how are you gonna hate on the supernatural elements at the end when they've been present throughout? You just haven't noticed them as much.
I think when people say they don't like the end of Hereditary because of how supernatural it is, I think that's really boring. Because, like, what do you want? You really want like a screechy family drama that's like sort of horror? Like, fuck it. Bring Satan out at the end of the movie. Bring Satan out at the end of all movies. That's cool. That's cool at the end of the movie where they're like, no, we have summoned the devil. That fucking rules.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
Robert Eggers, the witch.
Exactly. What if at the end of The Witch, she just walked into the woods and just stood there? Like, that's cool, I guess. Way cooler when she floats into the sky surrounded by a coven of witches.
Oh, amazing. Speaking of polarizing movies, that's another one.
The Witch? Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I can get. Like, I mean, I love that movie to death, but like, if you don't like that one, I mean, that movie is really slow. So I totally get, you can't really understand anyone's accent.
And it's the I guess the trailer was pretty misleading.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
Movies don't owe you anything.
I don't like
Fuck
the trailers.
but yeah. Anyways, back to Sixth Sense.
Let's talk
Bruce
about the
Willis.
opening.
No, let's talk about Bruce Willis.
Okay, let's talk about Bruce. Oh, I was
Your boy. This has got to be one of your guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the '90s action guy, so of course, he's great. 12 Monkeys, great. You know, he's done a lot. Even the whole 9 yards, funny. You know, he's done a lot of things. I'm like, how can you can't go wrong with Bruce.
Well,
now you can.
It has been a full decade of us going wrong with Bruce. So I think we're good to hang him up in the rafters and be done with him. But like,
I just think he stopped caring about like.
Absolutely.
Quality,
all he does now is like straight to DVD action movies that you've never heard of, and he charges $1 million a day. So he's only in like 2 scenes of each of them, and they put him on the poster. I actually, you know what? Now that we're just on the subject of Bruce Willis, I want to read you the title of. I'm just going to read a bunch of Bruce Willis movies from the past decade, and you're gonna you will have heard of none of these. It's so funny.
I'm pretty sure I've gone through, and they are. What you would think.
Let's go. Oh, that's a lot of movies. See, that's the thing is I don't even want to read all these because there's so fucking many. I'll start in 2012.
A Comedy Central roast thrown in there too. That was pretty bad. I hated it. Yeah.
Okay, here's 2012 because he has 2 really good performances in this year, and then that was it for the whole decade. Moonrise Kingdom, Looper, Expendables 2, and now here we go. You ready? Fire with Fire, A Good Day to Die Hard, G.I. Joe Retaliation, Red 2, Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Those are all more or less real movies that exist.
Even some a lot of those are pretty bad, but I don't know.
They're not great, but like they're movies that are made by real people.
I've watched most of those.
Okay, now buckle up. The Prince, Vice, Extraction, Precious Cargo, Marauders, Once Upon a Time in Venice, First Kill, Acts of Violence, Death Wish, Reprisal, Airstrike. I'm skipping over Glass, but that counts, I guess. Between Two Ferns, the movie, 10 Minutes Gone, Trauma Center, Survive the Night, Hard Kill, Breach, Cosmic Sin, Out of Death. These are all real movies that he's in.
Yeah, I did. I recognize the Glass, obviously.
Of course, Glass. We're going to cover that.
Breach.
I guess I skipped Split in there too. I would say like all of those movies that I just named are straight to DVD, like Ukrainian action movies that.
Yeah, not good.
No, that's his whole career now.
Yeah.
But once upon a time, Bruce Willis was one of the most exciting actors in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I read the whole thing, or like there's a little, I think, I forget, maybe it was on Netflix, something about Die Hard and like the making of it.
Okay.
And how, he started out as a comedy guy and then got this record payday for Die Hard out of nowhere. Like studio took a big chance on him.
Okay.
Obviously, Die Hard became one of the biggest of all time.
Pretty big movie.
Yeah, but I guess what that did to his ego was inflate it to obnoxious proportions.
Famously, one of the grumpiest, hardest to work with people in the game.
Yeah, and then so here's Expendables comes along, and you have this whole hodgepodge of just every single action star you can think of. And he was such a tool that all of them were like, this guy's a tool.
Which is so funny because they're all divas.
Right.
So all of them are such divas.
Think of the arrogance from Bruce Willis to where all the other guys were like, yeah, this guy's in a league of his own.
Get this guy out of here.
So much as that he was hot at one point.
Maybe not. Right.
You reap what you sow, it comes back around. So all these little, he's not big directors, big screenplays, none of it's reaching him anymore.
No, he doesn't care about it.
No.
It's a bummer. But do you have a favorite? My thing, the reason that I think I love Bruce Willis, because I mean, all the shit we're talking about him, I do love him. Like if you start at Looper and just go backwards for 30 years, there's so much good shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm
still a fan. Like if I saw Bruce Willis, I would bow down. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know if I'd do that, but
I would. Absolutely. I am in the bow down camp.
But yeah, the thing I like Bruce Willis.
I mean, I wouldn't get on my knees. It'd kind of be like that bow at the waist type thing, kind of like
a curtsy. Do a little curtsy.
Well,
That's
I'm not
cute.
going to curtsy. I'm not wearing a dress.
So. I'd curtsy. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
The thing about Bruce Willis that I think I respond to is he does have this legacy as an action star, right? Even when you get to The Sixth Sense, he has already been in Die Hard. You know, that, like, that's already been established that he's an action guy. He can do the comedy. He can do the, you know, the fed up with put upon guy.
Yeah.
The reason I love him so much in this movie.
He's played a lot of cops.
Yes. But the reason I love him so much in this movie, and like and also in Unbreakable, is even in Die Hard, even when he is the macho guy, it's highlighted in The Sixth Sense. His sadness is so palpable. He has this like loneliness and like sadness to him that I think is like, even in his most macho roles, even in Pulp Fiction, like he just has, you know, it's supposed to be a fun pulpy movie or whatever. He's still kind of just got this weird lingering sadness about him that I think is just sort of magnetic. You just kind of want to know what's going on with him.
No, I think you nailed it. Kind of like a little sad, like a sad dog. Like
Yeah. And I mean, he's so sad in these two M. Night movies that we're about to cover back to back. M. Night just sort of fully utilized that, brought that to the forefront.
Yeah.
And
you can make a case that M. Night may have gotten maybe the best out of Bruce Willis.
I might make that case. Yeah. Yep.
At least he got him to go like kind of out of his comfort zone for sure.
Yeah. Oh, God,
because he's done the
movies.
comedy thing. He's done the action thing. Like,
I mean, and he's done dramas before too. Like, this isn't his first go at like a more adult minded, you know, drama. But
let's look at his filmography. Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, because I started in 2012 and just went to present. I didn't really go all the way back.
No, yeah, I want to know if he made me cry before these two M. Night movies.
I doubt it.
I mean, he didn't make me cry. He made me cry in Unbreakable.
He makes me cry in Unbreakable.
Yeah,
he makes me cry in this movie too. He does. Yeah,
there's one scene I got close, but no, Toni Collette makes me cry.
Oh, she breaks me down fully.
Hard.
I mean, he makes me cry because The Last Boy Scout is so bad. I was just like, I can't believe I'm watching this.
Oh, that's not bad.
Movie sucks. No, there's nothing here. I mean, what are you gonna cry to Nobody's Fool? Like, that's a movie no one's seen.
Nope.
Right. You always, then you always got to remember how good he is in The Fifth Element too.
Yeah, he's not making me cry there.
No, but I love him in that movie.
Right.
Now there's nothing.
No. So that's what I'm saying. He kind of, I feel like M. Night like brought it, at least for me, he showed me a different side of it. And I'm like, yeah.
I think I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe took him to the next level. Because M. Night certainly not only took him to another level, he brought his whole game to another level.
M. Night?
So this is his third movie. You're seeing some of his patented shots, these long, starting to see longer takes.
There's a couple of things. Yeah. I want to talk about, oh God, where do we even start?
Let's dive right in. Let's knock out the very first scene, the opening.
The prologue.
Yeah. You got the music before the very simple opening.
The opening credits are
James Newton Howard's.
You love to hear that score. And it's somber, it's quiet, and then as soon as The Sixth Sense slowly flashes across the screen, those violins kick in, and it screeches for a second. That's great.
Loved it. That, like, I was kind of like whatever, and then that hit, like, okay,
yeah.
now I'm
You're awake. You're paying attention now. Yeah. Let's talk about this prologue. You got Bruce Willis and Olivia Williams celebrating. He's a child worker and he gets a plaque from the mayor.
Well, even before that, I love this because it opens up with her going through the wine cellar and she stops and there's this pretty cool shot of you see like her and her shadow and she gets the chill. And right off the bat, and this is before anything about the ghosts or anything.
Yeah.
But that shows that he's already broken through because that's got to be the draft from the window breaking.
I mean,
at this point he's already in before the celebration even happens. He's upstairs in their bedroom.
Oh, it's so crazy.
And then the next shot is it shows all these children awards, these letters saying thank you, whatever. Yeah. And I thought this was a brilliant way to have exposition about these characters as through an award, because not only you're getting what he does, but you're getting how good he is. You're getting what it's done to their marriage, because she says they're always second. You're getting so much in just this little bit.
He does so much work, and he does so much work, but none of it is like over explained. I think as much as I love M. Night Shyamalan, this is the last time he ever shows restraint. Like, after this, he just stops trusting people to understand the messages he's trying to send, so he gets really obvious with them and like makes it like the most like in your face, like everything has to be explained to you, whatever. Like this movie has so much like subtlety to it. Just like you said, he crams this entire opening scene before they even start talking with like enough information and he doesn't linger on it. He just sort of like trusts you to pick up on whatever's happening, and that's the way the whole movie operates.
Yeah, and you just you're. I feel like I was caught up right off the bat. Like I knew everything I needed to know about the character of Malcolm Crowe, Bruce Willis's character, Malcolm Crowe, right?
Malcolm, whatever. Yeah,
sure. Right from this opening scene, I wrote down because I loved that it was an award, and you get the red border right off the bat. You're already getting some red.
Looks like an expensive frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: were the ghosts there at that point? Because it's supposed to trigger like.
I think the red. So this movie's just full of red.
Yes.
For anyone who's watched this movie, you probably noticed like everything is so fucking red, and not like the cinematography is red. Like no, like just like the doorknobs red, the doors red, the balloons red. Like everyone's wearing red. We love it. And that is essentially, I mean,
he's drinking red wine in this opening scene. Even
everything has to be red, and like, yeah, it's been pretty thoroughly examined that like that's supposed to be like, you know, the ghost color, right?
Sure, it's supposed to signify that either there's like a presence or some sort of
Again, not explained. That's never explained in the movie. The coldness is explained in the movie. That gets explained why. Like when ghosts are around, you feel cold. Like that gets like explicitly stated. But yeah, the whole red thing is more like
twice. He should have broken. Give me, explain the first one and the red the second.
No, I think the red is just supposed. Like M. Night is such a colors guy. Like he just loves like matching colors to themes. Yeah, purple. I mean, Glass is full of just like this character is this color, this character is this color, this character is this color, and that explains everything you need to know about them.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I do too.
Like if I made movies, I would have.
Like rely on like the color to tell story.
Yeah, I just think it makes I like colors, whatever.
Hey, I'm colorblind and I still like them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but red. And so the red in this scene, I just think is supposed to he's starting to teach you how to watch the movie. I think that's all it is. He's just starting to introduce like this is one of the things I'm going to be doing is like and I mean I don't know at the end of the scene. Bruce Willis. Oh, spoiler alert, by the way. I guess we should say we haven't said the twist of the movie, so let's just go ahead and say it right now. Big spoiler alert for one of the like only movies that you don't want to know the spoiler to.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen The Sixth Sense and you don't know the twist, spoiler alert, you should stop listening right now.
I'll add this to the beginning of the episode too. But yeah, this is a very famous twist movie, so I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, Bruce Willis dies at the end of the scene. So
yeah,
like,
not just dies. You have this emotionally charged scene with none other than freaking Donnie Wahlberg.
Here's a good question. Is this the greatest Wahlberg performance of all time?
Ooh. No, Mark's turned up. It's really good. Like
this is so good.
This is a really like Donnie Wahlberg.
He doesn't make any sense.
He's like, you know what? I might not get another chance like this. I'm just gonna leave it all on the line.
Oh. So okay, so he goes up. We're not going to go through the whole plot of this movie, but like we got to talk about how good this prologue is. But yeah, they go upstairs to celebrate. They're doing a cute little dance while they get undressed, and she notices the window's been broken in, and then you see his shadow move across. And this is like the first moment of the movie that has like traditional like horror language in like the actual storytelling, where you see the shadow run across, and like the girl screams and hides behind the man, and they look at what's happening, but. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that there's like a music cue there. If there is, it's not as extreme as like most jump scare music cues are.
No,
and that never really happens in this movie. Like there's never like the moment where like there's plenty of jumps in this movie and things that like leap out of the frame and frighten you. But I don't think that any of them are super over accentuated with like or anything like that. The
only one I will say is when he's peeing and the mom walks across. I think there's a bit of a musical hype or a spike there. But again, he does these little walk and it's terrifying.
It's so scary.
Yeah,
so scary. And like, this is such a good scene. So. Tak Fujimoto is the DP of this movie, the cinematographer. He's one of the fucking best of the best, and he has such like a unique style of like being. He shot a lot of Jonathan Demme's movies, and Demme's movies are known for this close up where people just look right down the fucking barrel of the lens, which like happens in this movie. It's the Fujimoto thing that he does.
It's his signature.
It's his signature, and like he also is. Fujimoto has always been very interesting with how he moves his camera. And that just starts right away with this movie where you know, you're like Donnie Wahlberg is in their house. He's broken in and taken all of his clothes off, and he's having a meltdown, and he's about to like
delivering his monologue.
Oh,
like this whole time, Bruce Willis is trying to remember. He's trying to think back. Where do I know this kid from? And he's like trying, and then it finally clicks in, and he starts. Yep. You see him shift from more of like a defensive into a caring instantly.
He's trying to reach out to him.
Reach out. But at this point, it's too late.
It's way too late. I like the way that plays out because he doesn't know who he is at first, and if like, I don't know if like this is the intention of the movie or not, but there is maybe a brief moment you were like, oh shit, did he just like forget who this kid is because he like forgot who the kid is? But then you see him start to like go through his own like lexicon in his head, and you're like, oh no, he's helped so many children that he's like trying to remember which one this is, and he's able to figure it out because he has that compassion.
Well, that's the thing about this character, Malcolm. He is a superstar at what he does. Like so the fact that you see, I love this a little bit. And there's the whole movie's full of this excellent facial acting. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's like, that's most of acting is reacting. And when you see his eye, like when you see him, it clicked for him. And it's just, And, too nice, maybe too nice.
Yeah, too compassionate.
And I loved it.
So like then Donnie Wahlberg pulls out a gun and shoots Bruce Willis in the gut. But there's this awesome camera move that's just always stuck with me, where the camera is set a little bit to the right of Donnie Wahlberg in the bathroom, and he pulls the gun up and points it to his head while the camera wipes across the screen. And like within one fluid motion, like it goes from one side of the door to the other, and right before he pulls the trigger, the camera goes over the door so you can't actually see it. It's such a good movement. It's like, it sticks in my head. And then Fujimoto rules.
Right after that, it's positioned directly above
him. Yep. And he's holding his stomach.
And then is this our first fade to black?
Yep, fade to black, cut to the next fall or whatever it is.
So this is the only gripe I have with the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna squash it for you. Don't worry.
Well, no, it's I get its point, but M. Night spams the fade to black here, and he does it on purpose because
correctly so. He does it correctly
because there's many times there should be a follow-up scene and there's just a fade to black.
Okay, but can I explain my take on that, on why he does it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Bruce. Okay.
I mean, I get why he does it.
No, I just want to like talk about it out loud because I think it's genius. It's the same thing he does with Old, where we're like, you and I, like, spoiler alerts for our Old episode, but we talk about how brilliant the camera movement is and how like the way that he just keeps doing these long camera movements scares you over time. Mm-hmm. The fade out is part of like what makes this movie work for me, because Bruce Willis is a ghost. He doesn't know it, but he's a ghost. We as the audience don't know it, but he's a ghost. So when you rewatch this movie, you might have questions. You might think like, well, what the fuck has he been doing since last fall? Right? It cuts from him getting shot to a whole season later or whatever. Right? You might ask, well, what's going on there? You might ask like, wait.
Yeah, the camera opens up with him taking notes during the day.
Right. Why was he just sitting in the living room with Toni Collette? Like that doesn't because that scene starts with him just sitting there right before Haley Joel Osment walks in. Mm-hmm. I think the fade out is brilliant, and he's using the language of cinema. Like he's using like language that we're all familiar with to trick us and do his magic trick, because ghosts don't have to exist all the time. He might literally have not manifested until that moment before Haley Joel Osment walks into the room. That's my take, is like he's not existing in between the fade outs. You're only seeing his existence as a ghost.
I get that.
He's manifesting from scene to scene, and he's not literally walking from one building to the next. No, he's like having his scene, and then he's sort of fading away and then fading back in. Like it works with the fade out. I think it's brilliant. I don't have any problem with it. He could do it a million times. I think it's brilliant.
So no, if you like the case of like after he gets shot, he's laying there on the bed. The next time you see him is during the day, and he's taking notes about this new case. If you want to,
he has his Vincent Gray notes with him too.
Yeah, no, he has everything. He has everything he had when he was alive. Right. If you want to make the case that he wasn't needed until this opportunity arose, because there's only been 2 cases, and then this was his children. Right, this was his opportunity to like get eternal rest by doing that, and so you're spawned into that. Sure, no, I'm down with that. And I love the fact that he just starts in the room with Toni Collette. I absolutely love that.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
I'm not saying how he starts the scenes. I love every start. It's just there's a lot of times the fade to black where it's like, so he like specifically we see him break the glass at the shop because there's a kiss between his wife and another guy. Okay. So any normal person, you're just like, okay, whatever. He storms off. That's fine. I'm down with that. You even see him holding his side. And I don't know if that's like kind of something with his gunshot wound and like the emotional trigger, but something when he's, because that's the only time you see Malcolm angry. And I wonder if he was actually bleeding from his back when he was walking away angrily. But also,
that's a theory.
So yeah, when he comes up to his home and sees sees the same guy walking out of his house that just kissed his wife, and he's like won't answer anything. Obviously, the follow up to that scene is him going in and questioning his wife, but you get a fade to black in the street.
Yes, because I mean that might just be sloppy writing, I guess. But the whole explanation that Haley Joel Osment gives, where he says they see what they want to see, they don't know they're dead. Like, I just think that that's such a clever way of getting around. Like the magic trick of the movie is if you buy any scene that he's in with Olivia Williams, those are the hardest ones to pull off. Those are the ones where you're like, any scene he's in with Haley Joel Osment and Toni Collette is easy to buy because he can speak to Haley Joel Osment and Haley Joel Osment can respond to him. So he actually seems like he exists. Mm-hmm. The ones with Olivia Williams, especially when he's alone, those are really hard to pull off to make it seem like he's a real person. Especially I think the masterstroke is the happy anniversary. That one's like
at the dinner. Yeah.
Yes. That one is
incredible.
Remarkable.
Obviously the scene right after that is him holding the door and them driving home together. But there's fade to black.
That's the thing is like,
I know it's a great technique and it works. That's what makes this movie so like, aha.
I like the idea that as soon as she leaves the table, he fades away. And that's like, there isn't another scene.
Dissipates.
Yeah, he just dissipates. He can't maintain anymore, whatever. I don't care.
Well, that's my question right there.
He's so sad.
What kind of sick ghost would want to see all that? Go see what they want to see. I don't want to see my wife kissing another guy. I don't want to see.
I don't think he
he
doesn't know he's a ghost.
Storming off.
Like, yeah,
I know.
Yeah. It's such a complicated, weird thing that he's like set up. But I feel like he's mostly done all the work and like nailed.
Oh no, I delved into the lore. I want to know how these two kids got this ability.
Oh, I don't want to know that.
No, just kidding.
I definitely don't want to know that. No, okay, you know what? In a world where everything is a remake, every classic movie has been remade into a TV show, everything you see is a reboot or a TV spinoff or something. It is incredible to me that they have not made a Sixth Sense TV show, because like what a banger of an idea that is to just have like 10 episode season. Each episode is fucking Cole and Malcolm solving ghost crimes together. And yeah, you just cast Josh Brolin and Jacob Tremblay, and that's the whole show. Like
all of the day.
Yeah, you drop the the show is just called Sixth Sense. There's no the this time because that's how TV shows have to operate. You either add a the or you take it away.
Yeah.
And that's it. You put it on Hulu and it's a fucking big hit.
The Ghost Adventures of Malcolm and Cole.
Nope, Sixth Sense. And yeah, they just go on fucking ghost adventures together. It's great.
Coming this fall.
Exactly. I just don't understand how that movie or that show hasn't happened yet. Just seems like it's waiting to happen. Hulu, call me.
If you pitch it to M. Night, he'll probably do it. So
yeah, that's true. He doesn't have much integrity. Oh gosh, where were we at? Who cares? Yeah, I just think the fading. I mean,
that's I guess it. It's minor.
It's minor to you because I know you generally don't like fade outs. You kind of like react negatively when people just sort of take a cop out to leave the scene.
just when it's like that's not how you end a scene. And
it's a little weak, I guess, but I just think in this movie it like totally
you have to do it, and I totally get it, and I'm not mad at him for it.
Yeah,
it's one minor gripe, and that's it.
It's interesting because like that's like one of my favorite parts of the movie is the weird fade outs and fade ins and shit like that. But yes,
and there's a lot of times even though it's a gripe of mine, it's just specifically like
that one. You're like, go resolve this conflict, but he can't.
He just kissed your wife.
Well, he calls him cheese dick. That's pretty good.
He didn't even. He just kept trying. I guess he did call him cheese dick.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good dig.
It's like, dude, like. how you got to resolve it. You're not taken away. You're not going to set back from your job. You need to get a divorce, dude.
Oh god. Well, I mean,
Like,
that's what this movie's actually about, is like a marriage in crisis. And
well, that's the thing. That's what makes this. If you have these ghost adventures, like, yeah, it's great concept, fun. I love it. One of the best things I love about this was this is a crowd pleasing movie. Like, he wraps up every plot line. Like, Cole learns how to cope with his ghost. Malcolm helps this kid, helps his final kid. His wife
gets closure on his life.
Yeah, gets closure. His wife moves on, and
she's able to get closure. Yep.
Right. Tony Collette's able to communicate with her son. It's another crowd pleasing movie. Even with the ghosts are starting to smile at Cole. You know what I'm saying? Good. The burn victim. It's a crowd pleasing movie. Everyone wins here. Maybe not Vincent Gray.
No, Vinny lost.
Yeah. But other than that, he wraps up everything really nicely, and that's, I don't know, that I feel like if you put a bow tie, especially with that final scene because he dabbles very lightly with the fact that his wife is asleep and still can communicate with the ghost, and that's a cool touch. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of like big scenes I want to talk about with this movie.
Cupboards.
I don't really exactly. No, absolutely cupboards. We got to talk about the cupboards.
Terrifying.
Remarkable. This is remarkable.
I am moving houses instantly. It's going on.
This is
Zillow.
This is Hall of Fame stuff as far as directing and cinematography goes. And I'll throw in fucking Toni Collette's incredible reaction, but this is incredible. It's all done in one shot or one take. And this is what I was talking about in, I think, the Praying with Anger episode. The way M. Night Shyamalan, is able to block a scene where he's like, all right, we're going to move the camera over here.
Yeah.
And some shit's going to happen off camera. And when we move back, you're going to see it. But it's the way the scene plays out so good, because she goes in the other room to throw the tie in the laundry.
Something is already.
She's already closed all the cupboards. She goes in the other room. She comes back. The camera's behind her. We hear her yell and react before we see anything. Then the camera swivels around and you see all the cupboards are open again. And it's been like 1 second.
Loved it.
Brilliant.
With the cherry on top with his handprint stuck there, because you know how terrified he was with it. Just
so good. I love that he's not just a creepy ghost boy. I love that he's scared and he's confused and he doesn't understand what's happening either. It's not like he's like a pro and he's like, ghosts again. Like, he's terrified.
So Haley Joel, I already talked about facial acting earlier. Sometimes kids can really overdo it, like Bailey Madison.
I usually hate kid actors.
Yeah. Here it's not. It's just enough for me.
He's a pro.
Every once in a while, it's like, but for the most part, it's perfect. And right off the bat, you get that with the step forward, step back game.
Oh my god, that's again Taka Fujimoto killing it in the fucking cinematography department. I love the way that the camera will zoom away from Bruce and then it'll cross cut to Haley and it'll zoom into him as if it's one fluid motion. That's brilliant stuff. I guess I'm just gonna make this a cinematography episode. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. That's honestly, it's one of M. Night's biggest strengths is getting these guys
early.
That just makes these gorgeous shots, and not just gorgeous shots, unique shots, like different angles. Mm-hmm. There's one later on I want to talk about, but about this scene, I love. So this is the first time that Cole is he's starting to trust a ghost, because
it's so good.
It is so. And when Bruce Willis gets this, Malcolm gets this question right, the first one, they cut back to his face, Haley Joe's face, and it's this look of like, there's so much going on in this kid's head right here, because now he's thinking
incredible.
Oh, and it's just, I'm like,
there's
wow,
like
this
that,
kid.
there's that like hopeful curiosity and fear on his face where he's like, this is a different one. Like,
it's a lot. It's teary eyed. I'm like, that's when I was like, yeah.
When you have to think about it, you're like, right. I'm sure most of the ghosts are like burn victims, Civil War generals, like whatever terrible things. I'm sure none of them have been child psychologists. That's such a specific ghost for him to have to deal with.
Right. And the
so
fact
it's like,
that
holy shit, like ghost, it's a perfect match.
I would imagine most child psychologists have decent lives and
they don't need to get closure.
In tragedy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the fact that he's, because that's the thing they establish here is these ghosts are back with a purpose, either through anger or sadness. Something is keeping them here.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, cupboard's great. The game is really, really good. I love that scene. Let's talk. Okay, there's the shitty bully. This is bad. This is bad kid acting.
Tommy
whatever.
Delmonico or whatever.
So whatever. Who gives a shit?
Right.
He sucks. He sucks big time. I think that this kid sucks. I think he's terrible. He borderline ruins the movie every time he's in the movie.
With like his bad, like,
yeah, I think he's terrible. It's so fun. No, it's just funny because like the kid is playing a child actor and he's a bad child actor in the movie. And then while watching it, I'm like, this is a bad child actor. So it's like a weird meta thing that makes me hate him so fucking much.
Wait a minute, is this the first kid that has one of those faces for you?
It's a good question.
Do you want to punch this kid in the face?
I'm just really quickly. Yeah, he could. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting punched.
All right. Someone called Child Protective Services.
Oh God,
this kid's gonna get beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, he sucks. He bullies Cole. I hate it. He throws him in like a weird dungeon hole, and Cole gets like assaulted by a ghost.
And then I guess the end of his arc is he
gets demoted.
Get to pull the sword out of the stone in the children's play.
Yeah, whatever. I guess there's got to be something in this movie.
Of plot for him.
Fuck that kid. I wish he got eaten by like 6 ghosts. Okay, are there any other scenes we got to talk about before the big reveal?
We can talk. The really chilling that dungeon scene.
Yeah, which is upsetting.
Yeah, you get Tony Collette talking to M. Night Shyamalan's doctor and Child Protective Services, asking what's wrong with my son. Can't find it out. Just a lot of Tony Collette being worried.
Tony Collette, incredible in this movie because she's playing a very compassionate, loving, good mother who is also at the same time kind of fucking fed up with her ghost baby. Like, at no point does she ever give up on him or like get mad at him outright, but like you can tell it is wearing her down. Like, she's a single mother. She works her ass off. And
jobs,
she got multiple jobs, and you can tell she is like, there are probably scenes that we don't see in the movie where she like goes into the other room and is just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is wrong with this kid? Like, oh my God, I can't get through to him. But like, she will never show that to him. Like every time she's like, look at my face. Like the look at my face thing is great.
Absolutely love this dynamic.
It's so
good because it works here so well, and it worked in the Babadook. It's these parents.
Oh, well, the Babadook is like this turned up to 1 million.
Sure, but I just love that dynamic of these parents that know they can't give up.
We gotta do this. I want to assassinate the kid from the Babadook. This is the difference. Cole, I'm like, Jesus, this fucking kid, he's got to deal with the ghosts and shit. The kid in the Babadook, I'm like, throw him in the fire. Okay, anyways, yeah, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, no, it's the dynamic of these parents being good parents and good people and know they can't give up on their kids, but they're also being ripped apart mentally and and I just love it, and it works, and it's just tough to watch, but it's real, and it just, Tony Collette is masterful. There's specifically when he tells her, don't get mad about the bumblebee pin.
Yeah. Oh, and the bumblebee pin scene it's so heartbreaking because he's not lying.
We're not. I know, and he's getting tears, and he knows that's what Haley Joel destroys here is because this whole time he is not a dumb kid. He's a smart kid. Yep. Of course, M. Night probably jacked up his IQ and gave because he's like,
I don't know. I think Haley Joel Osment, like, famously, he was just like a kid who was able to just turn it on. Like, he could just get behind the camera. His dad like coached him in like natural, like how to like act naturally instead of like acting like a child being an actor. And apparently he just had that natural talent where like you turn the camera on, you tell him what you need, and he's able to just fucking turn it on, go.
Like, because that's a big thing coming off of what's the last one with the kid actor.
Wide Awake?
Yeah, Wide Awake. I wanted to know if I was going to get hit in the face with these adult lines coming from.
No, this is not that kind of movie. This is not that kind of movie because he says
even the ones that are a little like adultish, he's still like, are you wigging out? You know, like I feel like he would.
I buy it.
Yeah, I still bought.
Here's the thing that works so fucking well about his dialogue. He is an incredibly intelligent child who has an absurdly complex emotional journey that he's going through that makes him just more mature, I think, than any other kids around him. But he still talks like a kid. He still says, I drew a picture of a man who got hurt in the neck by a screwdriver. You don't say hurt in the neck if you're like trying to sound, you say he got stabbed in the neck. Or when when Malcolm's like, it's bullshit, don't let anyone tell you you're weird, and then like the kid just stares at him, you said the S word. Like, he still is a child. He's just a highly intelligent child.
No, it nailed it.
This movie doesn't do the whole like precocious kid who talks like an adult, which is, like I said in the last episode, the worst genre of cinema.
I hate it.
Like, Chloe Grace Moretz in 500 Days of Summer, like, kill me. You know, oh Jesus.
No, even then, that's like, I don't know. Obviously some, but no, we're not getting into that. But
no, we don't got it.
No, Haley Joel, he just seemed like a smart kid, and a lot of what we're saying seemed like he should be saying it. So the script I thought was pretty good.
Yep.
But specifically that scene, like, so you just see her hands in the plate and her doing the food, and it's frozen on Haley Joel Osment sitting at the table. They're talking about this bumblebee pendant. She's saying, we're not going to make it if you're not honest with me. And he's tearing up and he's saying, I'm not lying. And she just freaks out and won't even let him finish his dinner.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you again, because this is another, it takes my breath away when I watch this scene, because the way the actual scene plays out is, it is another one of those things where the camera is placed so that they're on either side of the table. You know, it's sort of this medium shot of the two of them sitting at the table on left or right side of the screen. And it kind of cuts to this close up where it pans over to Toni Collette. And she's like, you know, we're not going to make it if you're not honest with me. Like, did you steal the bumblebee pen? And by the time she finishes that sentence, it's panned back to Haley Joel Osment, and he's covering his mouth because he's so sad. Like, he's like doing that thing like people do where they like get really emotional and they have to like cover their like half their face, because he knows he's like, I'm not going to lie to her. And like, what I'm about to say is going to make her upset. And I know it, but I have to say, like, I didn't steal the bumblebee pen. Like, it's such a good moment. Oh God, M. Night is so good in this moment. Everything is just firing on all cinders. Yeah, don't get mad.
And she just breaks down. And then literally that scene is good enough on its own. It's so challenging to watch this. And then right after that, you get the dog flying out of his room. The very next shot is this gorgeous little puppy, obviously their dog, flying out of the room,
underrated
terrified.
Dog.
And you're right back thrown. I'm already getting chills because this dog's running away already.
It's like hiding, and she's trying to get it out of the
and
cupboard.
She's crying because she's so.
And
the
he
emotions.
comes up, and he's like, "Mom, are you mad at me?" And she like, "Look at my face." I love that she always says, "Look at my face."
Oh, instant defense. Like, how could I be mad at? Oh, and she does that a few times in this movie. Like, how dare you even like? She's
like, I could never
such
be
a good.
Or when he says, "Are you thinking bad thoughts about me?" And she's like, "I would never think bad thoughts." Like, it just gets me. It gets me every time.
She goes, "Baby, why are you shaking?" And she breaks down and she says, "Oh my God,
you got to tell me. You got to tell me." Right.
I cry right there.
Yep. Oh,
I cry a couple times. It's just Toni Collette. Honestly, this character is just
so in control of this movie. Yeah, because her character could just be like trashy mom who cares about her kid. Like, it could just be that, but
it's
she
so
imbues it with so much.
And I chose to expand upon like how she is coping with, and that's what he does that so well with his characters, I think. And here he just flexes his muscles big time. Well, I mean, he also gets. You know, it's Toni. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like shipping her real hard right now, but
you can ship her all you want. She's one of the best.
I love her. Yeah. So that scene, that was incredible. Just baby, why are you shaking? I watched that like 3 times.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Oh, it's just so tough because it's so tough.
Yeah.
And let's see, right after that, you kind of get the whole little plot with Bruce Willis deciding not be his teacher or his counselor anymore.
Because like
down.
It's really weird. Like, the emotional arc of Haley Joel Osment and Toni Collette is so palpable. It's so exciting and so sad, and like, you just get so much out of it. And then meanwhile, the main character, who is Bruce Willis, not as much. Like, not that it's bad, because it's not. It's pretty good. It's him, you know, reconciling with like how he did put his wife second to his work, and like that is his whole like thrust when he's alone, when he's not with Haley Joel Osment. He's sort of working through his relationship with Olivia Williams. And it's not as exciting. It's not whatever. It's the part of the movie that I think just sort of like kind of falls out of your mind if you're not really that into it. But yeah, he's chosen to like give up on Haley Joel Osment Well, no. Because he does that after Haley tells him a secret.
Yeah, you get the big scene in the hospital. After he gets attacked again in the dungeon.
All right, so we got to talk about this scene. This is a big scene. He sees dead people.
Yeah, I'm finally ready to tell you my secret now.
But hold on a second, because right before that happens, I forgot the balls on M. Night Shyamalan. The cojones on this man. This scene starts with them in the hospital. Bruce Willis is visiting Haley Joel Osment, who is in the hospital because he got hurt at the party from a ghost assault or whatever. They're talking, whatever. They're doing their thing. Bruce Willis sits down to tell him a bedtime story to make him feel better. And he's so fucking bad at it. He's just shitty at telling a bed. They're driving, and then it's a really long drive. He just keeps saying that they're driving. And Haley cuts him off, and he's like, "You've never done this before." And he's like, "No, I haven't." Now, what follows is, I think, underrated, because what follows is Haley Joel Osment literally says, "You know what's good is when stories have a big fucking twist." He just, in the middle of his own movie that is famous for the twist, calls it out on screen, literally. It's not a subtle thing. He's literally like, that's cool and all, but what are good are stories with twists. Wink, wink. And like, you just don't pick up on it. It's just like, oh yeah, that's part of the scene. He's saying that twists are really good. And it's M. Night saying, like, I'm about to blow your mind.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta, what he's like, gotta have something exciting happen. They gotta run out of gas. And it's
no, but he literally uses the word twist.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
That's pretty good.
I think that's ballsy.
It's extremely ballsy. And then the fact that he says they don't even know, to him.
There's so many times in this movie where I'm like, how did we as a country not just immediately call bullshit on this guy? Everyone went into this movie and got tricked. He tricked everyone. And he puts it right in front of your face.
Yeah, it's those fade to blacks that got everyone.
Well, it's that, and he was so careful with it.
Yeah, no, that dining scene. Yeah, when he goes through and he has all the realizations. And
Yep.
It's crazy that because she locks every single night. He comes home. The audience is left to think that at the end of each of these days, he comes home, goes downstairs into his study.
Yeah.
But every single night, he has to try to unlock the door because his wife keeps locking it. And it's just like, why she keep locking it? Like, obviously, there's like all these signs, right? If you pay attention, and it's like, no, the second.
No, she put a bookshelf in front of it because it's haunted.
Right. Like, that's crazy, because every night she wakes up. What is she going through every single night?
That's what I'm saying, right?
Her dead husband's study is unlocked. She's
trying
to move on and kiss a guy, and her shop gets broken. I
would love to see like a short film about Olivia Williams' perspective, because it's her being haunted, but not by a scary ghost, just a really sad one.
Yeah, that's kind of. Can we get a new version of that? Like, how can we turn that story on its head right there?
I'll call Disney or something.
Yeah, let them know. Yeah,
right. They'll throw it on Hulu. Okay, so he says he sees dead people. Unfortunately, this line was in the trailer, which I think is stupid. Like, it's the whole first half of the movie is not telegraphing itself too much. It's scary. You don't really know what's going on, but at no point do you get information from the movie that's like, oh, he obviously can see dead people, like he can see ghosts. It just sucks that was like part of the trailer, because I think that ruined the first half of the movie for a lot of people.
Well, I'm very anti-trailer.
I know that you have like a big hang up about The Shape of Water, which I think is stupid, but like,
no, it's honestly a lot of movies. It's Shutter Island. It's just a lot of movies have been ruined through the trailers. You know what's a good trailer? Show me. Well, I guess it's kind of cheap, but Mad Max's trailer. It's just there's nothing happens in that movie. Is about driving in a straight line and then turning around and driving back, and it's the best movie ever made, of course. But there's nothing to spoil in that movie. It's just like quick cuts of just like crazy stuff, but that's action. I guess action you can do that with. I
don't know, it's just one of those things where like it sucks to put that in the trailer, because like
terrible.
The information when you get it is so much more satisfying, like on its own. But whatever. Mm-hmm. He sees dead people. Now, once he says this, we get to see all the fucking cool ghosts, dead people shit, and it's scary and it rules.
Yeah, right. Is that when? Do you see them before this?
No, you don't see any of the ghosts before this.
Until this line.
You hear the ghost in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I swear I didn't steal the master's carriage, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like, you hear that voice, and then you see the cupboards, but you don't see any ghosts. The first time you see a ghost is after this.
What's the first one? Do you remember the first one?
The first one is the mom, right?
Yeah, I think it is the mom.
No, dinner's not ready yet, and she chases him back to his room.
Now you can't hurt me ever again, Terry.
Oh man,
or whatever. No,
Yeah.
It's terrifying. When,
that's
like,
very scary.
if I'm however old Cole is, no, that's absolutely traumatized. One of the scariest things imaginable. A dead ghost coming at me, yelling.
Another masterstroke of the movie is you are now like, okay, that is this kid's fucking problem. Not that his dad left, not that he's sad. He is constantly being assaulted by ghosts at all time. Crazy. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm on board with that. Now I'm caught up. And the first time we as the audience get to see him interact with a ghost, he runs away and hides like under a chair and is like panting and screaming and like crying. It's so it makes it even more frightening because you're like, wait, shouldn't this kid be used to this?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Is like you're like, okay, well, I'm sure he's like used to seeing ghosts, and it's like, no, he's constantly horrified. He's not used to it. He's not like a pro. He's constantly terrified because ghosts are like coming after him.
He's a kid. You
it's
know,
so good.
Like,
it's so good.
That's what makes it work, because he is a kid, and you don't know. Like, kids don't know how to cope with things. So, like, that's why Vincent Gray ended up the way he did, because that's how bad it was. But like after that, after you kind of get the rules, he can see dead people. You see a cool shot like him peeing, like scared to go down he's just how terrifying just to walk down the hallway to go pee at the middle of the night. That was great. Then you get the cool cut with the mom, and then you kind of get another one pretty close by. You want to see where my dad keeps his gun?
That one's wild.
Really wild.
That one's fucking crazy. Because he's like, that kid is clearly like a little like 70s kid.
Yeah.
Like that just straight gives me Amityville Horror vibes. Just him walking in with those bell bottoms. Want to see where my dad keeps his gun? And then you just turn around and his whole fucking head is blown off. I'm like, oh yeah, he got killed by his schizophrenic dad who thought he could see demons or something. Like, that tells me everything I need to know.
Oh, I was thinking he was playing around with another kid. He's showing him.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Either, I don't know. I went to the extreme, but yeah, sure. Whatever. No. Either way, like, that's very evocative.
There's not a lot of gore, but the gore that he does have here, it works.
Pretty extreme.
And it's scary, because the first time you see that giant hole in that kid's head, you're like,
Still PG-13. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So there's that one. We see like all the ghosts hanging in the school. Oh, we didn't talk about Stuttering Stanley, but that's just a fun little scene where you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Why is he yelling at his teacher and calling him Stuttering Stanley? Why does he know this?
Yeah.
That scene's weird.
I have issues with classroom scenes.
Oh God. Yeah. Here we go. It's Brent's classroom corner. And everyone take your seats.
No, it's just the kid obviously never is called on, and the teacher's like, Cole, sure, go ahead. Mm-hmm. He offers his answer, and the teacher's like immediately like, no, just like just horrendous teaching, just terrible. And then no, obviously Cole responded in a terrible way.
Why do we do this every fucking episode where I'm like, now?
Obviously, you don't call your teacher Stuttering Stanley if you yell it in his face.
The problem with that scene for me is when the teacher like makes the turn, because like, he just says, no, Cole, that's actually not right. And like, he like tries to correct him. He's not being a dick right away. But then once the shitty kid turns around and gives him the weird look, and then Cole looks up and the teacher's also giving him the shitty look, you're like, okay, go off, kid. Like, go ahead and call him Stuttering Stanley. That guy fucking sucks.
Yeah. They both were kind of dicks in that scene.
Yeah.
I'm not about M. Night's classroom scene. 0 for 2 for me.
Yeah, is there a classroom scene in Unbreakable? We'll find out. We'll see how long the streak goes. 0 for 3,
my bad. 0 for
yeah, no, it's been every episode.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how many bad classroom scenes there are for you. Well, I guess that we didn't get one in Old, so we're good there. We know the streak at the very least ends before Old.
Yeah.
So we see the hanging people, which is a really good just image. Like, it's scary.
Creepy. And then he doubles down. He zooms in on the hung woman too. It's like,
Yep. So that's crazy.
I love the fact I don't see anything, Cole. He's like,
are you sure they're there? Yeah.
Yeah. This whole time,
I'm so scared.
It's great that you get to see finally what he
is constantly barraged with.
Right.
Did you ever see Paranorman?
That's the animated movie, right?
Yeah, the claymation movie.
No.
Fucking rules. That movie's awesome. That movie's like, what if The Sixth Sense were like a fantasy adventure as well?
Oh.
That movie's very good.
Paranorman
rules. Oh God, I love that movie. But Okay, so sorry, I just kind of want to talk about Paranorman now.
No,
But no, so I think those are essentially like all the cool ghost things you see for a while.
well, you finally because he's coming to this point where he's about to give up on him, and then you get the recording scene, and I love this because it starts. What is the volume at? He starts at a 3.
This scene freaked me out when I was a kid and continues to freak me the fuck out. This scene is so scary to me. I can't really explain what it is about it. It just freaks me out so much. This is a scene, yeah. He's getting ready to give up on Haley Joel Osment so he can go back to trying to fix his marriage, even though he doesn't realize he's a ghost. He can't do it. Ha ha ha. Tricks on you. So he goes and he gets like he's going over his old Vincent Gray files, and he is listening to a tape recording of one of his meetings he had when he was a kid. And in the tape recording, what is it? Malcolm, he's got to go like take a phone call or something.
Yeah, he leaves the room. He's going to take a phone call.
But he leaves the tape running.
Yep.
And he's like listening, and then he's like, I think I hear something. He rewinds it and he turns it all the way up. And what you hear on the tape is a Spanish man like pleading with God for his life. And you can hear like Vincent sort of panting in fear because like Vincent is privy to this. And you're like, oh my God, Vincent could also see ghosts.
Well, yeah, I love that because he keeps cutting back to the volume nozzle. Like first he's like, wait a minute, like what was that? Rewinds it, moves it up to 7, and then
he goes to 10.
And then he's like, oh, like every time it cuts to him, he's kind of get more and more into it because white noise. If you hear something like that's, I don't know.
Well, I think that's what it is for me. Is white noise is scary as fuck. The idea,
it's one of those things that people use as kind of like a conduit. You know, like you can. I love that. Yeah.
Anytime a movie is able to pull that off successfully, I think it's like so scary.
It's one of those things that's kind of believable too, because yes. So anyway, then it cuts back to 10, so it's fully jacked this time, and then you hear him praying. It's like and anyone that's listening to that, like, oh geez, like Bruce Malcolm Inson's like, oh my God, and he goes right to the church looking for Cole.
Yeah,
and you get this cool scene of him walking along the balcony. Yeah, picking up his toys. He asks him if he wants to play. Bruce Willis, again, just being the great. He's like, maybe later. He doesn't shut him down. Love that. Yeah. And then you get in the scene about how he can help him with the problem.
So this is like the beginning of the only like set piece in the movie. And it's sort of like, this is like the beginning of the final act, I guess, of the movie. Is him being like, why don't you try and fucking help these ghosts out? And that's, I think, at the same time, him being like, why don't you try and help me out? Because he doesn't realize he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah, Bruce Willis discovering, like, starting to believe is the first domino for everyone's things to be. Which is great. Loved it.
And then, so he's.
Why don't you help them out? You get this. Oh,
he just says listen to him.
Listen to him. Maybe. Yeah, I love that. It's not. I don't need a hearty explanation. This is just enough. This isn't even an explanation. This is a what if. Try this.
Yeah. Yes.
And it just works here. And so that's what happens. Cole, the first night, that night, you get another really creepy setup in this.
Fucking Misha Barton.
Oh my God, this kid has this little red tent.
Okay, we didn't talk about his tent. I actually never, like, this is the first time watching the movie where I like fully picked up on like what the tent is supposed to be. And I just thought it was like his little safe space that he goes to hide. Like, that's fine.
That's what I figured too.
And that's what it is. I mean, that really is what it is. This was the first time
watching it started as.
Exactly. But this is the first time watching it that I noticed when he runs in there to hide that first time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that it is filled with all of the religious icons and idols that he's stolen from the church. I didn't realize that tent is essentially like him being like, this is a holy place. I'm safe here. I'm surrounded by Jesus Christ.
It's a mini sanctuary.
I didn't realize that. I thought that was just like his little hideout. Cute tent thing.
You know what? I didn't either.
That was your first time?
Until this watched it, and I saw all the little church thing. I was like, nah, it's
nice.
Making sense.
Yeah.
And sweet. I love that. I didn't know that until just now.
The Misha Barton scene friggin' rules. It
terrifying.
It plays out where he's like, I know there's a ghost. He starts pinning up his tent because it's sort of unpinned. He goes inside to hide, and the camera kind of tilts up towards the top of the tent on the inside. You start to see the pins popping as it opens, and in one motion, it tilts back over, and Misha Barton's just in the tent. It's not a thing where she like barges in or anything like that. No. She's just on the other side of the camera, and she's just vomit pouring out of her mouth.
I'd make the case that's even scarier than her barging in. The
Way
fact that
scarier.
she's already in there.
That she's just there.
And vomit pours out. And I love that. I love this because he turns a page. Obviously, he leaves a tent, and like he always has. That terrifying little ghost girl just right next to me. And he's in the hallway. He's panting. He remembers the advice, and you see him kind of calm down a little bit. He stops panting, and he goes over. She's still there. You see the outline of the ghost.
I love
still
it.
In the
She
tent.
literally looks like a sheet ghost.
Yeah. And he slowly pulls it off. And she starts throwing
there.
up. She starts throwing up again. You're like, oh, this is nasty. But that's the first time, like, you as an audience watching this, you also go through the same mindset as him. You're not as scared as you used to.
Right. Yeah. You're kind of like, no,
she's not attacking him.
Yes. You're right.
And I love that transition into more of like, I don't know, it's sweet. And
I agree. Okay. This set piece, it rules so hard. I think everything about the next like 10 minutes are perfect.
Before we even get there, it cuts to a bus.
They're on the bus. No, this is the beginning of it. This is the beginning of it for me.
Yeah. And I love this because once again, you think he should be on this bus because he's being, he's with
the man. He's with a grown man.
It's like,
he's allowed to go on this trip.
That's his dad.
Yeah.
But you don't realize, like, anytime you
he's
see
on the
him
bus alone.
Anytime you see him talking to himself, you got to imagine what everyone else is seeing, like this little crazy kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love the fact they're on this bus. It shows his independence because he puts on his little tie, showing respect, smart, love it. But at the same time, they pass a graveyard and he looks away real quick.
Yeah.
Oh man, because even though we don't get to see what's in there,
you don't need to.
No,
it's
enough. Probably the most horrifying things imaginable are in that.
God, you gotta think the graveyard is the worst place for him to be, right?
Oh, he looked away so quick, and I love that. I didn't see everything. Because even though we're used to seeing the ghost at this point, that's still absolutely.
We don't need to. Yeah, this is M. Night showing restraint. Like he's like, okay, I've really nailed it in. I've shown you a couple of really frightening images. Now I'm getting you on the other side of it. I don't need to, hit you over the head with it now. Like we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We only see like 2 more ghosts for the rest of the movie.
The third kind of more, I don't know, it's rapid. It's not as scary because there is still one, but
okay, so he goes, God damn it. So he agrees to go help this Misha Barton ghost out. He goes to her funeral, which is at like this house, at like her house.
Oh, I love that.
I guess it's a wake, right?
She's came a long she came a
they
long
go
way.
Far.
Yeah.
They go far. And he goes upstairs. Bruce Willis is like, you got to do this on your own or whatever. And he's like, just don't leave. But he goes upstairs. Misha Barton grabs his leg. It's frightening. And she gives him a videotape. Okay, here we go. This is A+ filmmaking right here. I love this shit so much. He gives the videotape to the dad, the grieving father.
It's the whole walk up. We can't everyone's this whole setup where you just see the corner of the dad's shoulder, like sitting down.
Yeah.
I love just him walking up slowly. The dialogue's simple.
And I like that he says, this is another one where he's a kid. He says, are you Kira's daddy?
Yeah.
Like he's a child. He's going to say daddy. It's cute. But he gives him the tape. The tape is so frightening. And the way that everything is filmed is so well done where this is where you get Taka Fujimoto's, he looks straight into the camera. The dad is looking directly into the camera. Mm-hmm. His eyes are watering and red already because he's been crying. And you just get this video. The girl who died had taken a video of her like doing a puppet show.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she moves the puppet show out of the way and runs back to her bed because her mom's going to come give her food. And you like the mom sets up the food in front of the camera and you see her poison the food. And it's like, oh, you're watching that. And as the movie is cutting between the actual footage on the tape and the father who's looking directly at you through the lens, his face starts dropping and he starts to realize what's happening. And then you can actually see the party goers behind him start to slowly turn towards the TV. You can only see like their torsos because he's in close up, but you can see like people around him are starting to realize what's happening on the TV. They're starting to look. And then there's just that beautiful like cut where he cuts out of that scene straight over to the mother in the red dress.
Of course.
And she's just, entertaining guests or whatever. And it cuts back to him and he's just staring at her with tears in his eyes. And you're like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
that scene is just masterful.
Yeah, there's so much happening. Like, yeah,
I don't know who the guy is who plays the dad, but he just he he's a huge reason of why this movie works, because that scene is so important, and like he crushes it.
Well, because that scene it's the first time, like, this is, like we talked about, this is now he's actually helped something. The ghost can rest, because the whole reason we find out that Kara, the ghost of Kara, was doing all this and was still floating around haunting whatnot, was to protect her little sister.
Yes. Right.
So there was a reason for her to still be there to do all this.
Oh, so good.
Why was the mom doing it? There's a lot of things in Munchausen.
People are psychos.
By proxy.
Munchausen by proxy, right.
The fact that she wasn't getting attention, and she didn't plan on killing the daughter, but the
sad fact of the matter is the reason this happened is because shit like this happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I don't really need to know why she did it, because like, unfortunately at this point in my life, I'm just like, I've listened to enough true crime podcasts, man.
Right.
I fucking know what happens in the real world.
People and even if she was the stepmom and they were the biological kids, there could be anything. But yeah, no, the whole thing is so creepy, so well done.
Yep.
The dad kills it. It's just the setting. You even get a nice little cherry on top. I just wanted to see her go down a little bit, just something. But she'll be in jail for the rest of her life.
She's done
anyway.
so, right? Exactly. She killed a child.
So, right.
Yeah, I don't really need it. I feel like today's M. Night Shyamalan would have given us like a 5-minute sequence of her like going to court or whatever,
or just her getting taken out of the house in cuffs.
Right, something. Yeah, I didn't really need it. I'm happy with the father's look on his face.
Yeah, no, that's great. The whole scene is incredible. Don't get me wrong. But what he did give us was Cole talking to the youngest girl. Yeah, and just was he saying looking out for you, or said something? Yep. Yeah, I loved it. The whole thing, boom, just that scene is great. It's one of the reasons this movie is as good as it is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, because this is the beginning of everyone getting closure, and it's so natural and it makes so much sense, and it's so like sad. This movie's so sad. I love the horror of this movie, because it is quite scary, but more than anything, I just love the like somberness of it. It's great. So emotional. Yeah,
because ghosts are scary, but at the same time,
so sad.
There is another angle where maybe they're held on through the sadness. One
of my favorite movies of all time, A Ghost Story, is explicitly about that. Like, it's explicitly about like how sad is it that ghosts exist? Like, it's devastating. But yeah, so he goes, whatever. Let's talk about the.
I think the next thing with Cole, as far as like, the next thing with him is the play,
which whatever. Like, the play is cute, I guess it's fine. He sees the burn victim woman. He's talking to her.
She smiles, which signifies that the ghosts are kind of peaceful, not a problem anymore.
And he's starting to come around to it.
Yeah, so that is necessary, needed, like it. And you did get to see another cool burn ghost.
Yeah, cool. Love that.
Yeah,
love a spooky ghost.
Teacher was a tool again when when he's like, but I like Cole was like, thank you for giving me this part, Mr. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and then he's like, oh, back in my day there was a fire.
Like, did you know there's a fire? He's like, yeah, I fucking knew. I just talked to that ghost. Let's go.
I just wanted the teacher to be like, wow, you're pretty smart. You know things a lot. Just something, not whatever.
There's always one for Brent. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the final scene with Cole and Toni Collette.
Okay,
because this is the fucking.
It opens up daylight, traffic jam, flares. I love that it opens up with a flare getting lit, so it's just cool.
Yeah.
Slowly the camera's moving down the street, and it comes in on their car, and Toni Collette's kind of looking around, just thinking to herself. I always wondered, like, because she's just doing she's probably thinking of a billion things, and her son's just over there, and what does he say? I'm ready to communicate now.
I'm ready to communicate with you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kicks off this like incredible scene that just builds and builds and builds and has this beautiful release at the end of the scene. But yeah, it starts off with him being like, I can fucking see dead people, Mom. I know, because there's that accident up there. Like, someone died. She's standing next to my window, and you get that cool image of the biker woman walking away.
So me, I always try to see is it real dialogue? Would people really react to this?
Okay.
And when he says, I see, I can see dead people, whatever, she goes, are you scaring me now? Like, every single thing that she says would be a natural response. Like,
yes. I'm wondering if I mean, I don't want to take credit away from M. Night, but I'm wondering how much she worked with him on her character's lines, because she, more than anyone else in this movie, has such like real authentic reactions to things.
Yeah, like it's her.
Like Bruce Willis is very good in this movie. His dialogue is great. He's quite cinematic though, whereas Toni Collette is just fully acting like a human being. It's incredible.
I'm going to go out and say it. Since the podcast started, this is the best performance I've seen. It's right
Really?
up there with well, as far as the one scene of Heart 8 and Philip Seymour Hoffman, like this is right there.
Wow.
This is a full movie, so I kind of would.
Okay, I definitely am not going to go that far because we've talked about 8 Paul Thomas Anderson movies, but yeah,
that's fine. No, I
love her in this movie.
No,
I think this is the best performance that he has ever gotten out of any of his actors.
No, I'd probably slide Daniel Plainview at maybe number 3 as far as what I've seen so far, and that's saying a lot because Tony, I don't know, man, Toni Collette here. Daniel Plainview didn't make me cry, you know.
Sure,
he made me mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
but he didn't make me cry.
God. Yeah, but this scene plays out where he is starting to tell his mom that he can see ghosts, and the way that he convinces her is he tells her that grandma says hello, and he gives evidence in this way that's like the most intimate information that no one would else have. And it's such simple, like it's not this crazy thing where like grandma told me this incredible secret that only you would know, so this is how I know. It's just like way more simple than that. It's like, grandma told me that you visited her at her grave, and she said the answer to the question is every day. And like Toni Collette just like crumbles at that, where she's like, holy fuck, like, because it's so
not
that's so
it's
specific.
not even a lot of dialogue. It's just the way it's delivered, a little bit at a time. Just with every line, it's just getting the emotions just getting turned up a little bit, and she's getting more worried. She's getting sadder, and she's just every single line.
Well,
and then
she's getting sadder, but I think she's also. I think there's
scared.
a little bit of
relief
because I think there's a little bit of relief for her, because the more he proves that he can, the more he proves that what he's saying is true, I think the more she's going, holy shit, that makes so much sense. Like, oh my God, you actually can see dead people. That fucking solves everything. Like, you know, I got to imagine as a mother, you would just be like, okay, you think you can see dead people? That's a problem. And then as they start to prove it to be true, and you like have to believe it, you must be like, that's your problem. Okay, got it. You know.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't get the relief from her. I got every other emotion on the spectrum there.
I mean, and also,
she was scared.
Definitely scared.
Because when your kid says they can see dead, or she's standing there, she even says. But she's so sad. It's so good, man.
Well, and then the beautiful line where he says, she said the answer is every day. Mommy, what question did you ask her? And she's like, I asked her if I made her proud. And like he breaks down crying and grabs her.
Oh my God.
The hands go on the chest. Yeah. That scene just ruins me.
Well, his line to her
every day. Yeah.
It's just. Oh, and she just can't even keep it freaking together. And oh man, oh dude, it's good. It's really good.
The thing that like watching it this time. I mean, I've always loved this scene. I've always loved this movie. Yeah. I watched it this time, and my mind frame was, if I were in her shoes, would I believe him? That's where I was at. I was like, I want to know if this kid can actually convince me that he sees dead people. And like halfway through his monologue, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like he's giving me all of the evidence I need. Like the ballet recital, the fight that they had, the fact that what she said at her grave, like that is plenty of evidence.
Yeah, there's 3 big things right there.
Works, yeah.
So,
you get the final scene with Cole and Malcolm where he's like, I don't think we have anything else to say to each other, and then Cole gives them the advice like, talk to her while she's sleeping.
Oh, a lot of good face acting in this scene when from Haley Joel, like just asking him to just pretend that they're going to see each other. And just like fighting back the tears, and it's just like, that's great. I don't know, man. Maybe M. Night he knows how to get solid dramatic performances, or just
he did.
Yeah, sure.
He used to, yeah.
Well, I'm going from here on out, so I'm not ready to be hurt yet.
Okay, well, all right. We've only got 3 more movies until we get really, really hurt.
Oh, and then really, you just get the one final scene after they leave each other, and it's him.
Well, it's him talking to Olivia Williams, and the ring falls off her finger, and he realizes he hasn't been wearing it the whole time.
Sure,
and that's when he realizes he's a fucking ghost. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the twist.
reaches in the back and feels a wet
blood.
back.
It fades. Solid. It fades to white, and then it fades into their wedding video of them kissing. Then it fades to black. M. Night Shyamalan film, and he makes millions and millions of dollars, and is now like everyone wants him to make a movie.
You know what? My original few viewings, I forgot about the very, very final scene, him talking to her while she was sleeping. I for some reason, I think maybe as it came out a long time ago, but when he had the realization with him in the back and all, like he's on the wall and all that, I kind of thought it ended there for some reason. I forgot that there was there's a scene before that. The one where
he talks to her before that. Oh, you're talking about when he goes back to her.
Yeah, when after he because there's obviously he comes to that realization. He's going through all what you see in the movie, all this and that. But then there's a little I don't know how much time passes, or he just dissipates in and out, or maybe he calms down right away because he's irrational, or he was rational. Yep. But then he instantly goes and talks to her while she's sleeping.
This scene makes me cry. Oh, when he says you were never second, like that makes me fucking just like explode. I love that.
I didn't buy that.
Wow. All right. Because Bruce Willis not selling it for Brent.
No, because even like that was a major plot point. Even she knew she was second. His whole career.
Sure. I guess so. I buy his emotion in the moment where he's like, you know what? I'm sorry I made you feel that way, but
he wanted to give her peace, and I guess it was necessary for him to move on.
And then she says wistfully with a smile, "Goodbye, Malcolm." Like, get out. Yeah. This movie's great. I love it.
Everything will be different in the morning. And I just got a sense that when she would wake up, the sun would be shining and she would feel better about.
She would have this huge weight off her shoulders.
Yeah.
Maybe she couldn't explain it, but it's a new day for her.
And I love that. I love that that M. Night left that open for me to imagine. That. Yeah.
Love that.
Like I said, this is a crowd pleaser.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Such a great, great, great movie. Do you want to talk about the twist a little bit? I just want to talk about like its ramifications and what it did to M. Night Shyamalan's career.
Sure. And the fact, because is this top 3 twists of all time?
Okay. Probably. Yeah. I don't know. Like this is one of, if not the most famous twists in any movie.
Yeah. I mean, I would say maybe second only to I am your father. I'm your father, or whatever.
That's a big one. Yeah. Psycho maybe. But that's more of a reveal than a twist. You know what I mean? That's more just like the thing that works so well about this twist is not only does it all work out, not only does he do all the work, it all makes sense, but it doesn't need to be in the movie. Like the thing that's beautiful about the twist is the movie could end with Malcolm and Cole saying goodbye to each other, and the movie would still be perfect. The movie would still be like this wonderful, wonderful thing that we just saw, like a supernatural drama.
Yeah.
The twist just it recolors half of the movie. Actually, no, it recolors the whole movie. Really, it recolors both Cole and Malcolm's storyline, obviously, and it does it in such a way where you're like, oh my god, that changes both of their performances so much. It changes everything about what I just watched. I need to go see that movie again, which is why
now
I
gotta watch it again.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant, and I also think like the bummer is. Now everyone who goes to see an M. Night Shyamalan movie wants to see a twist. They were like, "You're the twist guy. You did like the most incredible thing ever. Do that again." And he, being the crowd pleasing, entertaining director that he is, goes, "Oh, okay. You want a twist? I'll give you a twist." And
I'm gonna give you the craziest twist you ever seen.
Give you every twist, every movie, 6 twists. I don't care. No twists. Maybe one twist. I don't know. Yeah. And I think it ends up kind of ruining him for a long time. I think he follows this up pretty strongly with a couple movies, but then he starts getting into weirdo shit, and we'll get into it. I don't know. I don't want to get into my thoughts on it because we're gonna get it all.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. It left an expectation that every movie that from here on out was going to have a crazy twist.
Yeah.
And it was unfair, but at the same time, he spoiled me. Now I want a twist. No,
also
I don't need a twist. I love a good twist. The only thing I can make a case when you have a movie that is as big as this with a twist as big as this. It does I don't know. I hate to say the replayability of it because it's bred it's not centered around like you said, it's not centered. It doesn't need the twist, but it has it, and you know about it, and you're waiting for it, and it's coming, and now I got the twist.
Okay,
and it's like haha, and it's.
I agree with you theoretically, I disagree with you in this case because I think the twist of the movie makes it so much fun to watch over and over again because I'm reading into every like millimeter of Haley Joel Osment's performance in a different way. Same with Bruce Willis. I'm usually like the idea of like, okay, there's a twist. Once you see the movie, you see the twist. Maybe it's not so rewatchable because like you've seen it. You've seen the magic trick. But I think the magic of this movie is the twist is incredible. You want to see it happen, but then everything leading up to it is now colored in a different light. And you can actually watch it and you can get more microscopic with it and have more fun. That's like every time I watch this movie.
Oh, for sure. No, this movie is definitely
Haley Joel Osment's performance.
Oh yeah. You get two unique viewings for sure. And which in itself is a great feature
like 6,
for any. Yeah. Well, it's just for me is, it's one where one where you don't.
There's one where one where you don't. And then for me, there's been like 4 where I'm like, God, I just want to get into this and like fucking watch every like micro expression on their faces because now I know everything.
Yeah.
Ugh, love it. Let's rate it.
All right. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. That's strong. That's a strong rating.
Yeah.
This is a 5-star movie for me.
I figured it would be.
It really is. I love this movie so much. Powerful.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, 4.5 stars is a good rating. I'm not going to fault you there.
It's the only thing that because the whole time I was trying to rate it, I'm like, what's stopping this from being a perfect movie?
Nothing.
And the only thing I could come with was that he did spam the fade to blacks a little hard.
Okay.
And it came off as cheap. You know me.
Sure. No, yeah, that's a fair complaint. Yeah. That's part of the thing that I like about this movie, but like, yeah, if that's something that you're not jiving with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the only gripe I have with the movie is it also helps the movie. It's just there's 1 or 2 times where I was like, oh, you're getting a little annoyed with it.
Yeah, I get it. Fair.
And honestly, it only had to do with the guy stuff, like or even I don't know, just that's it. Like
nothing wrong with that, man.
No, 4.5. It's
strong.
Yeah,
good.
What are we talking about in the future? You got anything for the future coming out?
Upcoming movies?
Yeah,
it's tough. We're going into awards season pretty soon here, so there's going to be a lot of movies coming out. I gotta say, right now though, nothing too exciting like on the horizon for me. So I'm going to go with one that I'm more curious than anything. I'm not exactly excited, but I'm not like, it's not like a movie where I'm like, that's gonna suck. I saw a trailer for it when I went and saw 9 Days. It was the first time I saw this trailer. It's a movie just called Together, and it stars James McAvoy. And I'm like, as I was watching,
I'm already there.
That's the thing. No. I'm with you. I'm with you. I love McAvoy too.
We got a director for Together.
Yes. Let me pull that up really quick. But Together seems to be, and this is the reason that I'm not super excited about it, because I know we're going to get so fucking many of these movies.
Okay.
It's a COVID movie.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a movie it's a movie like set in, and it's about like lockdown and isolation and whatever. But it looks like it's going to be more of a comedy. Stephen Daldry is the director of this movie. He did like The Reader, The Hours, Billy Elliot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good director.
Yeah.
But it is a 2-hander. It's just James McAvoy and Sharon Horgan. And what it is a couple who probably is it seems like they're about to break up, or it's like a husband and wife who are like about to sign divorce papers as the pandemic starts. Like right when they're getting ready to leave each other because they have a bad marriage, they get locked down together. And it's like them and their kid. And the movie seems to be filmed like The Office. Like it looks like a mockumentary. Like they were like direct addressing the cameras. They're talking to the cameraman. Like it looks like a mockumentary, but the trailer, like as much as I rolled my eyes at the premise, because I'm like, God, I don't want to fucking spend one more minute thinking about COVID. It looks charming as hell, man. Like
really,
McAvoy owning his age, a little bit of gray.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of salt and pepper, fully using that Scottish accent. He's just fully deployed Scottish accent, and it's just like him and his wife like hating each other but loving each other, and looks like it's them coming to like maybe reappreciate their love for each other, and like it looks sweet.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm just like, we're gonna get a million of these fucking movies. I don't want it. So
well, I mean, I'm firmly in the camp that we don't get enough McAvoy. I think he's really talented. I think at the same
McAvoy's
time,
a weird case. We'll talk about him.
He
He's a
kind
weird
of
case.
settles. Like he comes off as settler. Like he'll just take kind of what he gets, and it's just I don't know. But
he's a weird case.
I do like him, and I think he's talented. This movie's kind of in the same camp, like a meh movie. Like I'm not excited for it, but I think we should talk about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the new Top Gun.
I'm very excited for it.
I'm not. It's
you know me. I can't help it.
I know that's your guy. I'm seeing more of these these older actors just trying to milk their old properties for all they're worth.
Yep.
And it's
just Tom Cruise, famous for it.
Right. It's by Joseph Kosinski, the same guy that did Oblivion, and that was meh. Also,
I kind of like Oblivion, but I can't defend it. It's not great. I just like it.
Yeah. Speak now, I'm gonna twist too. He also Joseph Kosinski also did Tron Legacy, another one that, meh.
Okay, I never saw that.
Yeah, just cool visuals, great visuals.
Here's the thing:
Tom
Cruise is gonna fly like a fighter jet, and it's gonna be exciting. And they're probably gonna play that "Fly Into the Danger Zone" song, and I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I mean, they already did that in the trailer. I already saw that in the trailer. And even the fact the title Top Gun Maverick, it's like, why wasn't the last the last one wasn't enough Maverick? It seems like he's just trying so hard. Like, isn't the Miles Teller's in it? And I thought he was kind of like passing the torch.
I don't like Miles Teller. I think he is pretty bad at acting. He is perfect casting because he's playing Goose's son. And if anyone looks like Goose on the planet, it's Miles Teller.
You think Miles Teller looks like Anthony Edwards?
He could easily be Anthony Edwards' son. He's got that gumpy, long face, kind of pudgy, kind of doughy.
I do, I do see a long face. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just
I totally no. Like the thing is, I'm probably more in that camp than you. I'm way burnt out on all these legacy sequels and reboots and stars.
Top Gun's perfect. Why? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, I agree with that, but. The thing is, fucking Tom Cruise movie. I don't know. I'm gonna go see it and I'm gonna love it. That's the one case.
His best movie, like what he's like.
Okay, what?
No. Okay, no.
Wrong.
Look, Tom Cruise and Top Gun go hand in hand, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just why
I want to see him fly a fast plane. I don't know what to tell you.
That's my movie.
Well, I mean,
Top Gun Maverick.
That movie's been delayed for fucking ever. I'm really excited to see it.
Maverick.
Okay, yeah, you did it. You nailed it.
Got it.
Okay, let's play the game because I got a game queued up for you.
All right, let's do it.
So I'm gonna make Brent guess the top 5 Bruce Willis movies of all time.
Okay. top 5 highest grossing
Bruce Willis movies, and I'm gonna let you know one of them. I'm probably just gonna have to give to you. One of them's bizarre. Let's go with number 1.
Well, let's try Die Hard. Die Hard 1?
Nope.
Die Hard 2, Die Harder?
Nope.
Die Hard 3, Die with a Vengeance, or With a Vengeance?
Nope.
Okay. Let's A Good Day to Die Hard?
Nope.
That's like the 6th. Well, one of them was really like the last one he did was so bad. I was like, oh, stop doing this.
You skipped
but
one.
I know I like Live Free, Die Hard.
Number 5, Live Free or Die Hard, the only Die Hard movie in his top 5.
I bought that one. I really like that one.
Is that the one with Justin Long?
Yeah.
And like Timothy Oliphant is like a hacker?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, no. Maggie Q is like cool.
I think that's the only Die Hard movie I've seen.
It's fun. Yeah. I like it.
Okay, so that's the only Die Hard movie in the top 5, and it's number 5. So number 1.
Okay. Is there a Pulp Fiction in there?
No.
Okay.
Number 1.
There's no 12 Monkeys, Whole 9 Yards, Whole 10 Yards.
No, none of the. You're way off base with all of these.
Okay.
Number 1 is like a
Armageddon.
Number 2 is Armageddon.
Okay.
Number 1 is like a supernatural thriller.
Well, like Looper, a supernatural thriller. Like they're all super. Like
it's a really big, important movie.
No, there's gazillion of them. It's freaking Bruce Willis. Supernatural.
Really good child actor performance in it.
Oh, wait, what about the Fifth Element's in there?
No.
No, is it? Oh, wait, is it any of the other M. Nights? Unbreakable. Is that in there?
No.
No?
You're close.
You're
Dangerously close with Unbreakable.
Oh, wait. Come on, dude. These are.
Brent.
I should just glance at his filmography every once in a while before.
Don't.
No, I know. There's a gazillion.
Oh God, it's so funny you haven't guessed yet.
Um,
You don't even realize you haven't guessed yet.
no,
I'll go over the clues again. It is a supernatural thriller starring a child actor.
it's not funny. I just have to.
It's kind of like. Can I just give it to you? Because
I mean, if I had a freaking list, I would.
Don't look at his list.
All right, I'm not looking at his list. Give me it.
It's The Sixth Sense.
Oh. Well, I was like, it's none of the.
God.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's just funny. You didn't guess this movie.
No.
All right, you got 2 movies left to guess. One of them is an animated film that I have never heard of.
An animated film that you have never heard of.
Uh-huh.
It's not one of the look, because doesn't he play the baby and look who's talking now?
Look Who's Talking, number 4.
Okay.
So number 3.
You haven't seen that?
No. That's not the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about number 3 is an animated film.
Okay.
Just based off of the
No, because I know it.
poster. I'm guessing this is like a DreamWorks animation or Blue Sky or something. One of the lesser animation
Not
departments.
like Turbo, is it?
No, that's
No.
John Travolta, I think.
Okay.
Or wait, no, Turbo's the snail one. That's Ryan Reynolds. This one looks like it's more of an ensemble. Never heard of this movie. It looks like shit.
So with the puppy, the fat.
No. That's Bolt. That's the John Travolta one.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. Oh, animated Bruce Willis.
He's not. I'm guessing he's like a really small supporting role. Doesn't look like he's like the lead of this one.
Yeah, is it one of the Madagascars?
No.
No.
Don't think this is a franchise.
It's not like the Ice.
No.
Not one of the Ice Ages.
I think it's just a one and done.
Dennis Leary.
Apparently, it made enough money to be in Bruce Willis's top 5, though.
Well, I was going to say, he's not in Fantastic Mr. Fox. That's George Clooney.
That's a really good movie that I've heard of. I've never heard of this movie.
Okay. So that means I probably love it.
No, I'd be surprised if you've heard of this movie.
Oh, okay.
Boy, oh boy, do I not. He is first billed. Maybe he is the lead. I don't know. Okay, this is insane. This exists. I'm going to read you all of the leading characters. This is the most not kids voiceover cast I've ever seen. Okay. Okay, here's the leading cast members of this film. Bruce Willis, Gary Shandling, Steve Carell, Wanda Sykes, William Shatner, and Nick Nolte.
I know what movie this is.
Supporting cast members include Thomas Hayden Church, Allison Janney, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Avril Lavigne. What is this? I've never. Okay, I don't know.
Goodness, this is gonna be. I know a movie. It's not that.
Oh my god! If you pull this off,
like the aliens, like no, monsters and aliens.
No, it looks much more domestic than that.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it.
Come on, tell me.
It's called Over the Hedge.
Okay.
Looks like a bunch of animals get over the hedge and they go into the suburbs or something.
Definitely would not have got that.
Never heard of that movie. That is his 3rd highest grossing film.
Wow. Kids movies, I tell you.
It's really weird. Like, I thought for sure like his top 5 would be like obvious, but yeah, like I guess his more famous movie, like Die Hard, is like number 12 or 13 or something. I guess you know what it is he has a lot of big hits. It's not that he has small hits. He has like a lot of really big hits. So his top 5 is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Sixth Sense, number 1.
Movies, they always make a gazillion dollars.
I guess
so was that all 5?
Yep. Sixth Sense, Armageddon, Over the Hedge, Look Who's Talking, and Live Free or Die Hard.
Okay. Well, I got some of them.
That's the Mount Rushmore of the greatest films ever made.
Which one? Oh, I didn't get. Yeah, I would never have got Over the Hedge. What the hell?
Who could have done that?
No.
I'm like an animation obsessive, and I like looked at that, and I'm like, I've never heard of this.
I remember Yeah, I remember bits and pieces of seeing like it coming out and just being like, eh.
Nope. Yeah, that's a big nope for me, right? No.
I will
Nick
say
Nolte,
that
though.
at the end of The Sixth Sense, Bruce
Mhm.
Willis had a solid. I always look for like a, how to, if they sell the death,
Oh yeah, good death scene.
great death scene.
Really good death scene.
Laid there still, eyes open, pulled it off. And I was like,
I like when
great
he
job.
says, he's like, it actually doesn't even hurt anymore. I'm going to be okay. And then
I
he
believed
dies.
it.
Really
I was
good
like,
death scene.
I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Great job, Malcolm.
All right. Well,
One
anything
last.
else?
Do you have a favorite character in The Sixth Sense?
Oh,
Right.
well, it's either Cole or Tony Collette.
It's obviously Tony Collette's mom, or Tony Collette, Cole's mom.
Yeah, I think you're right. I love Cole though. I love Cole to death.
Love him to death. Love Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm's all right.
The fact he was such a good doctor.
Yeah,
he still had one last kid. Like that's pretty epic. The fact that he came back to like
that's pretty cool.
Help one last kid.
Not as cool as Ghost Boy.
No, that is pretty unique. Now it's
everywhere.
It's like he's using his ghost powers for good.
Do you think Tim Burton saw this movie and was like, how the fuck didn't I think of that? Little sad ghost boy? That's Tim Burton's MO.
He kicked a chair. Yeah, sure.
He's pissed. Oh man. All right. Anything else we got to talk about, or are we good?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, next week we're going to be talking Unbreakable. I guess if you look at it this way, it's sort of a sophomore because we don't really count his first two movies, do we? This is sort of the beginning. Sixth Sense is like the beginning of like M. Night's career, like proper.
Yeah, and so this is considered horror, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
but it's in the horror genre.
He deals with like suspense thrillers while dipping his toe into horror. That's sort of what he does.
He doesn't like to be, even with Wide Awake, he doesn't like to be restricted to one genre. Like
no,
unless he was just.
He's mostly indebted to Hitchcock. Like he is doing Hitchcock, but he's doing it with more of a supernatural angle on all of his movies. And yeah, I don't think that he's a horror director. He's more of a thriller director who is heavily influenced by horror. That being said, I think The Visit is straight up horror. So I think that's probably his.
That's straight up horror. Next week's Unbreakable, that's kind of like superhero-ish,
It's superhero-ish, but it's way sadder than that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of there's a lot of heaviness to it. So it'll be fun to get into.
Follow us on Instagram at Film School Dropouts Pod and on Twitter at film_school_pod. We're also on Facebook. Follow us.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us a love note. Leave us a ghost message.
Yeah, your favorite. Anything creepy to you? Leave a ghost tale if you can.
Yeah, send us all your good ghost tales.
Yeah, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week with Unbreakable. My name's James.
I'm Brent.
Goodbye.